Imagine being reborn in a fantasy world, teeming with monsters and hunters. You think it's your big break, until you realize your family in this realm is flat broke. Somehow, you awaken a system and become a beast tamer. Great, right, except you can't afford a beast because, well, you're still broke. Finally, you get your hands on a beast, but it turns out to be just your pet turtle. On the bright side, your girlfriend is both super hot and super rich. This sounds interesting, right? Well, this is the roller coaster life of our protagonist, armed with a turtle and dating out of his league. How on earth will he navigate this wild world? This story takes place in Jeonjo City on May 20th, 2024. Like in many MMORPG games in Manhwa, a huge purple portal opened in the sky. A loud alarm sounded, announcing that another space rift had appeared above Jeonjo. Monsters emerged from the portal and began attacking the citizens. A team of superpowered humans, much like the Avengers, arrived to fight these monsters. They were the 3rd Division of the Korean Defense Force known as Hunters. These hunters possessed powers like super strength, super speed, elemental control, and more. The hunters joined the battlefield and started killing the monsters, quickly gaining the upper hand. However, a powerful gold-tier monster appeared, the Wolf King of the Six-Eared Wolf tribe. After killing a powerful hunter, it looked at the humans and said, "These insignificant humans are still resisting wiping you out. It's only a matter of time." Saying this, it joined the battle and began killing human soldiers like ants. Nothing survived its claws. The leader of the hunters was shocked to see a gold-tier monster and wondered if this was a high-level portal. The Wolf King laughed and told the hunter's leader that it was too late to realize this. Before they could engage in a battle to the death, someone appeared at high speed. It was a high-ranking official who asked the 3rd Division Hunter Group to leave the Wolf Kingdom and go handle the other monsters. This high-ranking officer was Mr. Wenwen. In his presence motivated all the hunters. The battle between the Wolf King and Mr. Wenwen began. After clearing the portal, the 3rd Division Hunter leader returned to report to her superior. She reported that with Mr. Wenwen's help, they successfully defeated the invading Six-Eared Demon Wolf tribe. Her superior praised her for her work, but was worried because this was yet another new rift, and it was still only a C-Class 1. This was the 6th one in the past 10 years. He feared that at this rate, Jeonjo wouldn't hold out for long, though it was beyond their control. The superior announced that starting this year, Martial Academy would exempt awakened individuals from cultural exams, and the academic admission score for martial artists would be cut in half. He ordered the 3rd Division Hunter leader to check on the academy's progress. At Martial Academy, the bell rang, signaling the end of the first class. A boy noticed his friend daydreaming and asked why he wasn't paying attention again. He teased him, saying that if he failed to get into academy due to low academic scores, it would be embarrassing. His friend, still lost in his daydream, replied that it would be amazing to sit next to a beauty like Yamron. The girl he was referring to was Lin Yamron, the top beauty of the academy. While everyone's attention was on her, her attention was focused on our protagonist seated next to her. Yamron smiled and asked him, since graduation was approaching, if he planned to attend the literary university or martial academy. Our protagonist, Subai, lost in his books, replied that he didn't know. He explained that if he went to the literary academy, his grades were only average. Besides, in these chaotic times, what use were foreign languages and advanced mathematics? And if he chose academy, his family wasn't wealthy enough to afford all the supplements. Plus, he had no special abilities or talents, and was wondering himself where he should go. Subai was frustrated, thinking that since he had crossed into another world, he should have some kind of fate, ordering opportunity or awakened system. Yes, you heard it right. He was from another world, but he was beginning to doubt whether he had even transmigrated at all. Yanyan, with her gentle voice, called Subai and suggested, why don't you join me in applying to the literary academy? I have a way to guarantee your admission. What? Subai asked in shock. Yanyan asked him to keep his voice down. Just as she said that, a system window popped up in front of Subai's eyes. He was shocked, wondering what this was and how it just appeared. The system was bound to him as the host, displaying his stats. His species was ordinary initial stage. He was currently level 18 and 18 years old. His stats showed 4 points in physique, 5 in agility, and 5 in mental strength. He had a trainer trait, meaning he could use any living being as a trainee, and the system would automatically detect suitable contracts. His current trainable limit was 1. His talent was evolution, allowing infinite evolution for all contracted trainees with no upper limit to level progression, even breaking through racial limits. The trainee's hidden value and abilities would feed back to him, with higher levels providing a greater feedback ratio. Known levels were categorized as ordinary, bronze, silver, gold, platinum, diamond, lower tier, mid-tier, and divine, with each level having initial, intermediate, and advanced stages. Seeing this information, Subai realized that this was his system. Yanyan, confused, saw Subai staring into the air and asked if he was okay. From her reaction, he understood that no one else could see it except him. He grabbed Yanyan's hand and told her he was fine. Yanyan blushed when he touched her hand, but all the boys in the class became angry, shouting for Subai to get his filthy paws off their goddess. One particularly angry guy shouted, "Subai, watch how I'll teach you a lesson." But a beautiful teacher stepped in, asking everyone to calm down, and just her words were enough to settle the class. That teacher announced, "I have good news. Jeonjo Martial Academy just posted on their website that, starting with your class, awakened individuals are exempt from cultural exams and can directly enroll in Jeonjo Martial Academy. Students with preliminary martial artist physiques will also have their academic requirements cut in half." Hearing this, the whole class cheered with excitement, thinking they could definitely get into academy now. As the class ended, the teacher asked students who had already awakened abilities or had a martial foundation to come to her office to register. Hearing the news, Subai thought, "This is interesting. I just got my abilities, and I'm already exempt from exams to get into academy." Seeing him deep in thought, Yanyan wondered if he was really considering academy. The scene then shifted to outside, where Subai was walking home. He appeared normal on the outside, but Subai had something that set him apart. He was not originally from this world. He had transmigrated into this strange world 17 years ago. In this world, on September 18th, 1906, a massive space rift had suddenly appeared in the sky. From this rift emerged countless strange beasts that soon rampaged everywhere. Armies from various countries fought against these alien creatures, and it took 3 months to eliminate the beasts from the rifts. However, as long as the rifts remained, new batches of alien beasts would periodically emerge. To counter this, humanity decided to send death squads into the rifts to explore. They discovered a vast, boundless land beyond the rifts, and to prevent the endless flow of alien beasts, military forces from various countries constructed bases within the sky rifts to defend against the beasts at their source. A new era for humanity officially began. On March 6, 1907, the second sky rift appeared. On May 7, 1907, the third rift appeared, then the fourth, and then the fifth. Over the following century, the number of rifts increased and their appearances became more frequent. Now, rifts have spread across the globe, with each one harboring different alien beast species. Scientists named the battlegrounds behind the sky rifts the battlefield of 10K races. Meanwhile, Earth's spiritual energy began to recover, and humans gradually awakened martial abilities and supernatural powers. As the battles intensified, conventional weapons frequently failed on the battlefield, while the power of awakened individuals grew. Eventually, they replaced traditional weapons as the dominant force. The war between humanity and the 10K races continues to this day. Judging from the reforms at Jeonjo Martial Academy, Subai sensed that the situation in Jeonjo had become quite dire. "Since I've got this system now, I might as well use it to protect my family in this chaotic world." He knew that if he wanted to quickly enhance his strength, the fastest way was through the military-supported martial academies. Luckily for him, he had awakened the trainer ability. With just one trained beast, he could get into the academy without taking the exam. Looking at his balance, he hoped that the 2,000 yuan he had saved over the years would be enough. When he entered a beast shop, he noticed there was no system notification, leaving him confused. The system had said it would automatically detect something suitable. So why was there no reaction? A shop staff member welcomed him and asked how she could help. Subai told her he was a beast trainer and asked what kinds of beasts they had. Pointing at a black cat, the staff member told him, "It's pretty ordinary, but high-priced. It has the bloodline of a nether cat and can easily reach the silver rank. It's selling for 36,000. Subai was shocked at how expensive one ordinary black cat was. The staff member then showed him a 4-eared dog with the bloodline of the 6-eared demon wolf, selling for just 33K. She showed him many beasts, one after another, and with each beast, the price kept increasing. Finally, she turned to Subai and asked which one he thought was best for him. But when she turned around, Subai was nowhere to be found. He had left the shop thinking, "Are they robbing me just because it has a bit of beast bloodline? Is this expensive? And where's my system? Isn't there anything suitable for me here?" Disappointed, he returned home. Just as he entered, a system notification appeared saying, "Detected a suitable beginner taming creature. Little turtle, Do you want to tame it? Subai was surprised, realized that the system was finally responding. When he saw the name Little Turtle, he looked over at his dad's pet turtle, wondering if that was the creature the system was referring to. Immediately, the turtle's information popped up. It's tamed beast. Name is Little Turtle, common level initial stage beast. It has traces of the Shunwu turtle bloodline and can grow infinitely and eventually slay gods. Its average attributes, such as constitution, defense, spirit, and speed is 2. Its ability is turtle shell defense, and eating is its evolution method. Subai was intrigued by the system's response and the potential of this little turtle. Subai was shocked to discover that his little turtle had profound, limitless growth potential, ultimately leading to the slaying of gods. He jumped in happiness, shouting, "Now that's more like it. How much would this be worth? I'm not trading it, no matter what." He was thrilled, but his happiness didn't last long because he was making so much noise. His sister, Su Xiaomei, came out of her room. When she saw him holding the little turtle like that, she angrily shouted, "Subai, what are you planning to do with little 8? That's Dad's treasure." Subai quickly let go of the turtle and told her he hadn't done anything. Just as he released it, the turtle immediately jumped into a grocery bag, eating all the food from the bag in an instant. Both Subai and his sister were shocked by the little glutton. Su Xiaomei asked Subai why the turtle was eating so much, especially since they had just fed it that morning. Watching it devour everything, Subai remembered the system notification and realized that the turtle's appetite had increased and that it might be evolving. He told his sister he was going to find it more food. Half an hour later, Subai's mother and father came home shocked to see the state of the house. They asked Subai if the house had been robbed. In just half an hour, the little turtle had eaten all the food in the house and was now chasing Su Xiaomei for her last snack. Subai's father was just shocked and asked him, "Is this really our little turtle? Can turtles run this fast?" Subai then explained what was happening. The entire house had turned upside down in just half an hour. This situation made Subai think, Dad and Mom already have a hard time as it is. I better not tell them little 8 is a bottomless pit. He decided to handle it himself. Meanwhile, after devouring everything in the house, the little turtle finally stopped. Su Xiaomei was very angry at it, but as the turtle seemed satisfied, a huge robotic turtle form suddenly appeared from its body. Subai was shocked and asked, "Is this glutton finally full, or is it about to awaken its bloodline?" The scene then shifts to day 2. Little Turtle's explosive growth had come and gone, but its Xuanwu bloodline still hadn't awakened, and it had started eating even more. This was why Subai had come back to the pet shop again. When he entered, there were already 2 guests inside. When the shop staff member saw Subai, she asked if he had decided on what he wanted. He told her he wasn't here to buy this time. Getting closer to the staff member, he said, "I have exotic beast blood. Are you guys buying?" The staff member was shocked and asked him to confirm if he really had exotic beast blood. Hearing the words beast blood, one of the guests said goodbye to the other guest and immediately approached Subai. That man was the shop owner. He told the staff member to leave it to him and take care of other tasks. He then approached Subai and said, "Young man, come this way and let's sit down for a chat. You said you have exotic beast blood. Do you mind if I examine it?" Subai handed him the beast blood and told him to go ahead. When the pet shop owner smelled the beast blood, he was shocked. "It's really exotic beast blood and high quality too," he exclaimed. He asked Subai how much he wanted for it. Subai thought that it took so much effort to draw that small amount of blood from Little Turtle, so it had to be worth at least $100. Right, but before he could say $100, the shop owner offered him $1,000. What? $1,000? Subai responded in shock. Seeing his reaction, the shop owner misunderstood, thinking Subai was angry at the low price, and actually knew how much it was worth. Laughing, the shop owner said, "Just a joke. Such a high-quality product is, of course, worth $10,000. In shock, Subai shouted, $10,000. The shop owner misunderstood again, thinking Subai was getting angry at the low price, and raised the offer to $15,000. Subai was stunned and covered his mouth, thinking, who would have guessed that Little Turtle is so valuable? It's getting difficult to keep my smile hidden. He turned around to hide his excitement and said, "Fine, it's a deal. If I didn't need the money, I wouldn't sell it at all." After getting the money, he left the shop, with the shop owner personally seeing him off and saying, "Take care, young friend. If you come across such good stuff again, you're always welcome to come to me." Walking away, Subai looked at his balance and was thrilled. He hadn't thought exotic beast blood was worth so much. 15,000 had just fallen into his lap like that. Little Turtle could be proud of himself this time. While he was walking, he suddenly got a call from his teacher. Ms. Lee, she told him that the results for cultural studies had just been released, and there was also an important announcement. She asked him to please drop by the school that afternoon to fill out his application form and not to be late. Subai tried to ask Ms. Lee what the important announcement was, but there was no reply. Actually, it wasn't that she didn't reply. It was because Subai's old phone had no signal again. While talking, Subai had noticed that he had wandered into an alleyway. Suddenly, a system warning notification popped up in front of him telling him that there were 3 people nearby who were greater intent toward the host. They were currently within 10 meters. The notification read that enemy 1's level is beginner cultivator, enemy 2's level is ordinary person, enemy 3's level is ordinary person. Subai was shocked to see the notification, and when he turned around, he saw 3 people behind him with weapons. He had been marked by thugs. The leader of the thugs was the same guy Subai had seen in the pet shop talking to the owner. The thug leader demanded that Subai hand over his belongings, assuming that, judging by the pet shop owner's attitude, Subai must have something valuable on him. Subai felt unlucky, but told the thugs that he had gone to the shop to sell something, not to buy. However, Subai had no intention of handing over the money. He thought that if the thug leader was only at the level of a beginner cultivator, he stood a chance. The thug leader insisted, telling Subai to just hand over the money. Subai replied, "Fine, I'll hand over the money," and took his little turtle out of the bag, instructing it to retract into its shell. Immediately, little turtle hid in its shell, and Subai threw it like a rock at the thug leader. The thug leader used his baseball bat to defend himself, angrily shouting, "You little bastard!" But before he could attack, Subai quickly moved and kicked the thug leader in the groin, nearly incapacitating him. The thug leader fell to the ground in pain. The other 2 thugs were shocked to see their leader like that, and chased after Subai, shouting, "How dare you touch our boss!" Subai and Little Turtle immediately ran away. While running, Subai asked his turtle if the baseball bat hurt him. Little Turtle replied that it just felt itchy. He couldn't speak human language, but Subai could now understand its words. The 2 thugs caught up and lunged at Subai. Seeing them close, Subai asked Little Turtle to latch onto his feast. Little Turtle immediately latched on, and Subai used it like a boxing glove, punching 1 thug in the face and sending him flying. Then he turned around and smashed the 3rd thug's face into the ground. The thug leader, still in pain, managed to stand up and said, "You little bastard, I'm gonna kill you." Seeing him get up, Subai asked Little Turtle to get back into his shell. Little Turtle immediately hid in his shell, and Subai, with full force, threw it at the thug leader, hitting him directly and knocking him out in 1 hit. After defeating all of them, Subai picked up his bag and warned them not to mess with him. But suddenly, he noticed Little Turtle rummaging through the thug leader's belongings. Little Turtle found a bottle and immediately started drinking from it. Seeing this, Subai ran toward Little Turtle, shouting, "What are you drinking? Did you find something good?" He snatched the bottle from Little Turtle to check it. It turned out to be a cheap blood potion worth tens of 1,000. Suddenly, Little Turtle started experiencing difficulty, and its body began to glow. The potion was enough for a cultivator to absorb over a whole month, but Little Turtle had consumed it all in 1 go. Subai worried whether Little Turtle could even digest it, but then he was surprised, not because of Little Turtle, but because his own body started glowing as well. He felt an intense surge of strength. He immediately checked his status window and found that he was now a mid-stage ordinary level hunter. His level had increased along with that of his tamed beast. His constitution was now 16, with a base attribute value of 10 points and 6 attribute points inherited from his tamed beast. He now had 2 talents. The first was evolution, which allowed his tamed beast to undergo unlimited evolution, with no limit to its grade, even up to the mythical grade. The attributes and talents of his tamed beast would be inherited by him to a certain extent, with higher grade beasts providing greater inheritance. The second talent was Turtle Skin Defense, which consumed a certain amount of physical energy to activate. When activated, a layer of turtle skin would cover his body, greatly increasing his defense. Subai was surprised to see the amazing effect of the cheap blood potion. His attributes had increased significantly, and he had even gained a new talent. Not only did Subai level up, but his little turtle also leveled up. Little Turtle's grade was now mid-stage, ordinary, though the Xuanwu bloodline had not yet awakened. However, upon reaching the bronze grade, the bloodline would partially activate, greatly increasing its attributes. From an average of 2, Little Turtle's attributes had increased significantly. Its constitution was now 32, defense was 38, and both agility and spirit were 10. Little turtle now also had two talents. The first was turtle shell defense. When activated, it allowed the turtle to retract fully into its shell, forming a defensive posture that increased its defense by 300%. In this state, it could not move or attack. The second talent was turtle skin defense, which consumed a certain amount of physical energy and increased its defense by 50% to 100%. Subai was shocked to see little turtle's body grow larger, with a constitution of 32 and defense of 38. He remembered learning in class that even power-type beasts typically had attributes around 30. When they were high stage, ordinary grade, he couldn't imagine how amazing Little Turtle would be once it awakened, given how powerful it already was without awakening. Little Turtle was very proud of itself. Subai then picked up Little Turtle saying, "All right, you've eaten your share. Let's leave this place quickly." The scene then shifts to the school. Teacher Lee told the students that the results for cultural studies had been released and that she would be consolidating their application intentions. She also announced that a special recruitment teacher from university would be coming to the school to evaluate candidates for their special abilities. As with last year, there would be two guaranteed admission spots. While filling out the application, Yanyan asked Subai if he had thought it through and if he was applying for Humanities College or Marshall University. Subai told her that it would be Marshall University. He was determined to get in. Yanyan was shocked and asked, "Subai, didn't I tell you to apply for Humanities College with me? Those who enter Marshall University must go to the battlefield. Do you know how dangerous that is?" But Subai replied, "There is to be someone who goes to the front lines, so this suits me just fine." He smiled at Yanyan and told her that his reason for going to the front lines was to protect someone important to him. He was referring to his family, but Yanyan misunderstood, thinking, "Someone important? Could it be me that Subai is talking about?" Suddenly, a teacher came over and asked Yanyan which academy she was applying to. Yanyan didn't respond right away. Subai thought she probably hadn't awakened any special abilities and had never trained physically, so she would likely choose one college. After some thought, Yanyan told the teacher that she hadn't made up her mind yet and wanted to think about it a little longer. Teacher Lee reminded the students that this was a crucial decision for each of them, advising them to take their results home and discuss their choices with their parents. She informed them that they must submit their application intentions by midnight. With that, class was dismissed and everyone returned home. Later, Yanyan returned home, and while she was taking a bath, she called Subai. Blushing, she told him that she had decided to apply to Marshall University as well. Subai, who was cleaning his house at the time, was surprised to hear that Yanyan had applied to Marshall University. He asked her if she was joking, but Yanyan replied that she had made her decision and also wanted to send him a surprise. While they were talking, Subai noticed Little Turtle stealing food again. He had told Yanyan that he had something important to handle and would talk to her later. As soon as he ended the call, he yelled at Little Turtle, calling it a good-for-nothing for eating so much. The scene then shifts to the next day. All the students gathered in the stadium, and Teacher Lee was on stage, warmly welcoming military martial arts instructor Zhang Kai. He was their principal as well as their senior. Instructor Zhang came onto the stage and told the students, "1 year ago, 126 people entered this school, and 65 of them are still alive. 2 years ago, 98 people entered, and only 32 of them are still alive. 3 years ago, 86 people entered, and 11 of them are still alive." Hearing this, all the students felt a chill. Instructor Zhang continued, saying he wasn't trying to scare them, but wanted each one of them to understand that being here was not something to be proud of. They would face myriad challenges: duty, responsibility, danger, and the task of protecting their country. He told the students that Marshall University is a place where the strong are cultivated, and asked if they wanted to be among the ranks. Yes, all the students shouted. Instructor Zhang smiled and said, "Very good. I look forward to your performances in the examination." After the speech, the students began returning to their classes, but Teacher Lee asked Subai to stay. She and Instructor Zhang approached him. Confused, Subai asked if there was an issue. Instructor Zhang confirmed his name and then informed him that a space had been reserved for him at Marshall University. He had told Subai to head there immediately to prepare for the entrance examination. Subai was shocked to hear that someone like him, a broke student, had a reserved spot. Instructor Zhang confirmed it and mentioned that a vehicle was waiting for him at the school's entrance. Everyone was surprised to hear about Subai's reserved spot. Some complained that it was favoritism, while others were jealous, wishing it were them. Subai took the bus and arrived at Marshall Academy along with other students. They were all amazed by the academy's grandeur. An instructor was waiting at the entrance and asked the students to follow him. Along the way, the students noticed a huge rock pillar in the center of the academy. The instructor told them that it bore the school's motto. Subai was impressed by the grand motto. The instructor then took them to collect their uniforms and guided them to the dormitories. He showed them the male dormitories and told them they could rest there for a while and change into their uniforms. He informed them that someone would announce the examination time shortly. Subai went to his assigned room, room 303. As he approached, he heard a voice from inside saying, "In the early stages of martial arts training, resources are the most important." Subai announced that he was here, but there was no response. Inside he found 3 roommates. A red-haired boy took out a bottle and said, "My father managed to purchase 3 drops of extremely rare monster blood at Yushin Mountain. He asked an experienced pharmacist to make it into 3 bottles of top-quality medication. This isn't something you see every day." The other 2 boys were amazed, with one asking, "Is this what rare monster blood looks like? I've never seen it." The other added, "I've bought similar products, but it's also my first time seeing something like this." While they were talking, Subai entered the room. He introduced himself as Subai, who had also been assigned to dormitory 303. The red-haired boy introduced himself as Jugong and said, "So you're Subai? Everyone's here." Then he introduced the other 2 boys as Dao Jiajuin and Fan Chaoan. Subai said, "It's nice to meet you all." Jugong smiled and told him it didn't need to be so polite. They were all dorm mates. After all, he asked Subai to come over and take a look, explaining that Jugong's father had sent him some rare monster blood. Proudly, Jugong told Subai that his father had to send people all over the country to acquire it. When Subai heard Yushin Mountain and 3 drops mentioned, he wondered if it could be the same blood he sold to the pet shop owner. He asked Jugong if such rare blood was expensive. Jugong boasted, "Not really. Each drop only cost around 30,000, so not even 100,000 in total. It's practically spare change." Hearing it was sold for 90,000, Subai became very angry, thinking that, "Slimy bastard, I sold it for 30,000, and he sold it off for nearly 100. Blasted middleman." While they were talking, a commotion erupted outside. The students from the dormitory were going crazy after spotting a super beautiful girl downstairs. A guy commented that he was voting for her in this year's beauty contest, saying, "That figure, those legs, she's our goddess." When the dormitory warden saw the girl, she asked who she was looking for. Since this was the men's dormitory, Subai's roommates were amazed, saying, "University really is something. She's amazing." They all wondered why she came. The girl, as it turned out, was Yanyan, Subai's future waifu. She told the warden that she was looking for Subai. The warden turned to the dormitory and shouted, "If there's Subai, come out. There's a pretty girl waiting for you downstairs." Hearing this, Han Jiagong and the others looked back, surprised that their roommate, Subai, was the one she was looking for. They all swarmed him, amazed at his luck, unable to believe that the school's beauty came just to see him. Then Chan commented, "Brother, Subai might be more than he seems." When Subai went downstairs, Yanyan complimented him, saying, "Subai, that uniform suits you." She moved closer, adjusted his clothes, and said, "Now you look even more handsome." Subai started blushing with her so close. Seeing Yanyan helped Subai adjust his clothes, all the boys from the dormitory grew jealous, shouting, "Dai, you lucky bastard, don't lay a finger on our goddess." Yanyan then mentioned the reserved spot at Marshall University and asked if he was upset. Subai told her he wasn't, but he had planned to sit for the test himself. Then he patted her head, saying, "Still, you did it for me, so thank you." Yanyan laughed and told him she was worried he'd be angry, but was grateful. He thanked her instead. She handed him a bag saying, "The entrance examination is the day after tomorrow. I prepared some pills for you." Subai, surprised, told her she'd helped him enough and that she should save them for herself. But Yanyan ignored his excuses and ran off after saying goodbye. The students from the dormitory were furious, muttering, "Who is this guy? Did he touch her head? Find out who he is. He's competing for her heart." When Subai returned to his room, Han Jiagong and the others started calling him brother with newfound respect. Surprising him, they started massaging his shoulders, asking, "Who was that goddess?" Confused, Subai asked, "What goddess?" Jiadong chuckled, "Brother, you're too humble. We're talking about the goddess you were just talking to." Subai told them they were high school classmates. Hearing that, Han Jiagong moved closer and said, "Brother Su, since we're dorm mates, I'm sure you could convince that goddess to bring some of her friends over." Subai hesitated before replying. Seeing him hesitate, Han Jagon suggested that, since it was Subai's first time meeting them, they should take him out for a good dinner and chat. Without waiting for Subai's response, they finalized the plan and told him to rest up and get ready to go out that night. Then they all left the room. Watching them decide on their own, Subai thought, these guys are really interesting. He then picked up his bag, took out Little Turtle, and let it out to get some fresh air. Checking the bag Yanyan had given him, he found a blood essence potion. Little Turtle's eyes lit up at the sight of it. Seeing that, Little Turtle liked it. Subai laughed mischievously and asked if it knew what it should do after consuming it. Little Turtle, scared of Subai's expression, seemed hesitant. Later, Subai and his roommates went to a high-end hotel. Seeing the place, Subai asked Han Jagon, don't you think coming to such a fancy hotel is a bit too much? Han Jagon laughed and told Subai to relax and enjoy himself, leaving the rest to his brothers. In the room, Han Jagon raised his glass saying, I feel extremely lucky to have met you all at Marshall University, especially an amazing person like Brother Su. A toast to you all. Subai asked them to take a seat, saying, since we're all dorm mates, there's no need to be so formal. Once they settled down, Subai told Han Jagon that he was high school classmates with Lin Yanran, so he could probably arrange for her to introduce some of her friends, but they could discuss that in the future. Subai then told Han Jagon that he needed his help. Han Jagon asked, what do you need help with? Subai took out a vial of red blood essence and placed it on the table, saying, it's not a big deal. Really, I just have some rare monster blood and would like your help with it. Both Judge Wing and Fan Chowan were shocked to see it. Looking at the potion, Judge Wing said, Hanjia, Brother Su's monster blood seems to be of even better quality than yours. Han Jagon examined the vial and told Subai that this blood was better than anything he had ever seen. Han Jagon pulled out his smartphone, telling Subai that the blood was extremely rare and that he would call his father to send someone over to evaluate it. Subai told him not to rush and suggested they enjoy their meal first. But Han Jagon had already dialed his father's number. When Han Jagon's father answered, he immediately began nagging. Little Jia, you've burned through your pocket money again, haven't you? I sent you to Marshall University to get stronger, not to waste time. Han Jagon quickly cut in. Dad, I don't want money. This is serious. My classmate has 7 drops of precious, rare monster blood that he wants to sell. It's of even higher quality than the 3 drops you got last time, so I couldn't decide on a price. What? 7 drops? His father asked in shock. Are you sure it's better quality than last time? Han Jagon confidently invited his father to come and see it himself. Hearing his son's certainty, his father said, send me your location. I'll send Master Cow over immediately. An hour later, Han Jagon's father arrived with Master Cow. When Master Cow examined Subai's monster blood, he remarked, this is simply exquisite. It's the purest monster blood with the highest energy content I've ever seen. I can make incredible things with this. Han Jagon's father looked surprised and asked, Master Cow, isn't that a bit of an exaggeration? Master Cow replied, not at all. Even with the best equipment, the value of this blood would only increase. Han Jagon, amazed, exclaimed, damn, Brother Su, who knew your monster blood was this up? Master Cow approached Subai and with respect said, young man, what's your price for this monster blood? Subai told him that his friend had advised that this blood shouldn't be sold for money, only exchanged for blood essence of equivalent value. Hearing this, Han Jianan's father said, Subai, since you're classmates with little Jia and I'm your senior, I wouldn't dream of shortchanging you. I'll take it all and you'll get 14 bottles of blood essence in return. How does that sound? Subai agreed and thanked him. Han Jianan's father smiled and asked Subai if he would like to join the Han family, promising to provide him with resources for free. Subai thanked him for the offer, but explained that he wasn't planning on joining a family just yet. Han Jagon's father pressed him to reconsider, but suddenly a loud voice came from outside. It was Yamran, who opened the door and said, Subai said he didn't want to join a family, so no one is allowed to force him. She was visibly angry and asked Han Jagon's father if he understood. Subai was surprised to see Yanran there and asked her why she had come. Yanran replied that she was there to settle her own business, but hadn't expected to run into him. Seeing Yanran's attitude, Han Jagon's father grew angry, but Master Cow quickly intervened and informed him of Yanran's background. Han Jagon's father was shocked and frightened upon learning her background. He quickly explained to Yanran that it was all a misunderstanding, saying that Subai and his son were just classmates and good friends. Hearing this, Yanran calmed down and asked Subai if he was heading back to school, suggesting they go together. Since Subai had finished his business, he agreed, said goodbye to everyone, and left with Yanyan. Watching them go, Han Jiagang called up, saying he was going back to school as well, and started to follow. But his father stopped him. Han Jiagang's father advised him to build a good relationship with Subai, because the Han family's future might depend on it. He also instructed him to keep a safe and respectful distance from Lin Yanran. Han Jiagang was done realizing that his friend Subai and the goddess Yanran were indeed very impressive. 2 days later, at the military training field at Marshall University, all the freshmen gathered on the university grounds. Instructor Zhang addressed the students, announcing that over the next few days, they would participate in freshman special training, which would take place in the battlefield of all races. Hearing this, many students were scared, asking if they were really going to the battlefield of all races for training, fearing it was far too dangerous. Failing the training was one thing, but losing their lives was another. Instructor Zhang reassured them, saying the area designated for their training had already been cleared, and that the instructors would ensure their safety. He continued, explaining that they would be divided into groups of 50, each led by a bronze-level instructor, who would act as their homeroom teacher and assign their training tasks. He wished all the freshmen a victorious return. After the announcement, Yanran came running to Subai, very excited, and told him they had been assigned to the same class. Subai smiled and asked if she arranged that on purpose. As they talked, a female instructor appeared and called for Class A together. Class A was the group that included Yanran, Subai, and his roommates. The red-haired instructor introduced herself as Liao Yuxin, their special training instructor. All the boys were going crazy over the beautiful instructor. Instructor Liao told them that she would be the one assigning all their training tasks, and their first task was to write a will. The students were shocked to hear this. Instructor Liao explained that they had 1 day to write their wills, and would need to be at the teleport plaza by 8 a.m. the next day, as they would be departing for the battlefield of all races. The students were scared. One student exclaimed, "Is there really a risk to our lives? I still want to carry on the family line." Another said, "I'm going to write my will. There's so much I need to leave for my parents." Hearing this, Yanran asked Subai if he had any plans. He told her he didn't have much to prepare and would head back to the dorm first. While both Yanran and Subai were relaxed, Han Jiagong and the others were anxious with the battlefield ahead. They felt there was a lot to prepare. When everyone returned to the dormitory, Han Jiagong invited Subai, saying that since they were heading to the battlefield the next day, he was taking the boys out for a good time that night. He asked Subai to join them, but Subai declined, saying he had other things to take care of, and told them to go enjoy themselves. Han Jiagong understood and agreed. As he was leaving, he noticed Subai's little turtle eating in a corner. He patted the turtle and said, "Brother Su, your little pet turtle is something. Its shell is tough." Subai told Han Jiagong that the turtle was named Little 8, but that it had a bit of a gluttonous side. Little Turtle didn't like being called a glutton, pouting in response. After that, Han Jiagong and the other two roommates left the room. Meanwhile, Little Turtle finished its plate and asked Subai for more food. Subai said, "You little glutton, all you think about is eating. Fine, I'll let you eat all you want today, but once we're on the battlefield of all races, you better perform well." He gave Little Turtle more blood essence, which it immediately drank. Subai laughed and told Little Turtle to slow down, reassuring it that no one would take the food away. As he was feeding Little Turtle, a system notification popped up, congratulating him because his pet, Little Turtle, had leveled up to a high rank, ordinary, exotic beast. Due to this, Subai's level had also increased, and Little Turtle had gained a new talent, Heavy Strike. Subai checked the status window and saw that his tamed beast, Little Turtle, was now high rank, ordinary. Its attributes had increased significantly. Physical strength was 64, defense was 78, agility was 20, and mental strength was 20. It now had 3 talents: Turtle Shell Defense, Turtle Skin Defense, and Heavy Strike. The new Heavy Strike talent consumed stamina to increase attack power by 100% to 200%. The more stamina consumed, the stronger the attack. Subai then checked his own status window and found that he had also leveled up to high rank, ordinary. His physical strength was 28, with 15 as his base strength and 13 points inherited from his beast. His agility was 19 and mental strength was 34. He now had 3 talents: Infinite Evolution, Turtle Skin Defense, and Heavy Strike. The new talent worked the same as Little Turtle's, consuming stamina to enhance his attacks. Subai was amazed, realizing that the blood essence was incredibly effective. Little 8 leveled up again, and these step boosts are insane. He looked at Little Turtle and said, "Nice, Little 8. when we get to the battlefield of all races. Let's go all out together. Now both Subai and his little turtle were ready for the battlefield. The next day, all the students gathered in the field. Instructors reported to Chief Instructor Zhang that all trainees were geared up and ready for battle. Chief Instructor Zhang ordered a soldier to open teleport formation 1 and prepare for teleportation. The teleport formation activated, ready to transport students to the battlefield of 10,000 beasts. Seeing such a huge teleport formation, the students were amazed, saying, only Marshall University has something like this in Ron. Feeling worried about Subai, told him to be careful once they were on the battlefield of all races. Subai reassured her, saying they would complete the mission safely. They wished each other good luck and approached the teleportation formation. Instructor Liao advised them to relax their bodies and prepare for teleportation. One by one, the students entered the formation and were instantly transported to the military base within the battlefield of all races. They were surprised by how epic the military base looked and how quickly they arrived. Instructor Liao stood at attention and asked Group A to quiet down. She apologized to Lieutenant Yatao, saying, they're just rookies who haven't seen much. The man in front of her introduced himself as the Deputy Lieutenant of Military Base F-69 and told the students they could call him Deputy Lieutenant or Sir. He continued, here, I don't care if you're a student or an instructor. On my turf, you follow my orders. He asked if they understood, and everyone shouted, understood, sir. Seeing the lieutenant, Han Jiagao muttered, so what if he's a deputy lieutenant? What's the big deal? Subai pointed out the scar on the lieutenant's face, noting it showed he was an experienced officer. The lieutenant then informed the students they were in luck, because his team had just returned from a battle. Their first task would be to clean the battlefield, and while doing so, eliminate any remaining phantom cats. He said it was the perfect job for rookies to get their first taste of battlefield experience. With a serious expression, he added that eliminating the phantom cats would earn them military merit points, which could be exchanged at the logistics department for blood vitality, powder and various grades of body tempering elixirs to strengthen themselves. Hearing this, Jia Chuing got excited, exclaiming, truly, fortune comes with risk. Han Jiagao added, no wonder so many risk their lives to come to the battlefield of myriad clans. Seeing them eager, the lieutenant smiled and said, you little brats, look ready to give it a try. Good, move out immediately. Follow me. Everyone was thrilled. As they followed the lieutenant, Subai thought to himself that he needed to gather enough military merit points to exchange for elixirs. Lil A would have a feast as well. The lieutenant first led them to some injured soldiers, explaining that these were the wounded just back from the battlefield. Seeing the injured soldiers, Jia Chuing asked if they had been hurt while dealing with the phantom cats. Han Jiagao replied, no way. Are phantom cats the weakest beasts? How could they be so terrifying? Seeing the injured soldiers, some students grew scared and exclaimed, even the weakest phantom cats are this dangerous. How am I going to survive and make it home? Enough chatter, Instructor Liao shouted. She asked them if they thought the battlefield of myriad clans was a playground, reminding them that since they enrolled at Marshall University, they must always be prepared to face danger. Yanyan, seeing the injured soldiers, was scared and asked Subai to stay close to her once they were on the battlefield, as she didn't want anything to happen to him. Subai, understanding the danger, decided to stay vigilant in the myriad clan's battlefield and reminded Yanyan to be careful too. When they arrived at the gate, a soldier reported to the deputy lieutenant that they were currently executing their assignment to guard the northern gate and that they had killed 35 ferocious beasts attacking the camp that day. The lieutenant praised them for a job well done and ordered them to open the main gate, allowing the recruits to see what the myriad clan's battlefield truly looked like. At the deputy lieutenant's command, the soldiers opened the main gate. Instructor Liao told the students that with Deputy Commander Liatao leading the team, this was a rare opportunity and encouraged them to make sure to perform well. Understood, instructor, everyone shouted. Seeing the students' energy, the lieutenant smiled and said, brats, you've all left fuels at the mail depot, right? Because from this moment on, you will be constantly walking with death. When the main gate opened, the students saw soldiers battling fierce beasts. Han Jiagao was amazed, exclaiming, is this what a battlefield is like? How gruesome. One of the soldiers fighting the beasts turned around noticing their captain. He approached, saluted and asked why the captain had personally come. The lieutenant told him to talk less and assemble a team of soldiers to help protect this batch of students. The soldier replied, yes, sir, and left to gather a team. Instructor Liao explained to the students that they would be heading to area F-60, where there was a patch of forest. Most of the monsters there had already been killed, and their mission was to retrieve the monster cores from the shadow cats in the area. After the explanation, the lieutenant stepped forward and shouted, "Rookies, are you ready?" "We're ready, sir," all the students replied in unison. Meanwhile, the assembled strike team received orders to follow and protect the students. As they began moving, the strike team leader approached Instructor Liao and assured her there was nothing dangerous about clearing out a battlefield. Laughing, he remarked that sending these newbies to the front lines would be a waste, as they would be like nobodies on the battlefield. He then turned to Captain Liao and asked why he was personally leading the team. Captain Liao replied, "Strike team leader, you talk too much. Don't ask pointless questions." Hearing this, the strike team leader stopped. Instructor Liao thanked Captain Liao for his assistance, and he responded, "It's nothing. These students are all warriors on the battlefield. It's my duty to protect them." Meanwhile, at Imperial Capital, the highest military command post, a soldier rushed to report an urgent issue to the senior officers. He informed him that there was a latest report from the battlefield of all races. A large horde of monsters had broken through the defenses. Currently, 12 powerful golden-ranked individuals from the Shadow Cats tribe were involved in the fight, attacking 12 military camps in the southwest. From D-128 to D-140, the senior officers instructed the soldier to determine the monster's direction and send word to the other camps to prepare for an attack. The new students from Marshall University are entering the battlefield to practice their skills. They are Long Nation's future. They must be protected at all costs. Meanwhile, at Area F-69, all the students arrived at the battlefield they had to clear. Instructor Liao told them that when clearing a battlefield, time was of the essence. Every minute they stayed was another minute they were in danger. Hearing this, everyone immediately got to work. Subai and Yanyan were working together. Yanyan told Subai that the hides, blood, flesh, claws and teeth of the shadow cats could be used to make weapons and medicines. Subai replied, "No wonder so many people would want to come to such a dangerous place. There are rare materials everywhere. My little turtle is going to eat well again." Looking at his inventory, Subai decided he would collect a few more cores and exchange them for blood spirit essence, thinking that would help little turtle level up again. But while checking his inventory, a sudden system warning popped up, alerting him to extreme danger. 160 for shadow cats were rapidly approaching, obviously hostile and only 3 kilometers away in the southwest forest. The system advised him to stay on guard, marking the threat as a 5-star high-level threat with a life-threatening danger level of 4 stars. Subai was shocked, as the last time the system gave him a warning, it was only for a beginner-level martial artist. This was a 5-star life-threatening situation. Seeing Subai's alarmed expression, Yanyan asked what was wrong. Without explaining, Subai ran to Instructor Liao, who was in a tree, and told her he sensed a large horde of monsters moving towards them from the southwest. Hearing this, Instructor Liao looked in that direction, but saw nothing. She came down angrily and said, "Subai, this is a battlefield, not a playground. Do you know what will happen if you cause mass panic?" Subai tried to explain that he wasn't joking, and that there really was a horde of monsters approaching. Hearing the commotion, Captain Liao came over, looking sternly at Subai. He said, "Subai, you say you can sense monsters, but I can guarantee there are none within 2 kilometers. Subai insisted, explaining that there were over 100 shadow cats 3 kilometers away, moving towards them. Captain Liao didn't believe him, and asked if Subai thought his senses were sharper than his own. Instructor Liao told Captain Liao not to waste time on this, suggesting that Subai might be overreacting, as it was his first time on a battlefield. While no one else believed Subai, Yanyan did. She told Captain Liao that no one should make a judgment before verifying the truth. Left with no choice, Subai stepped forward and pleaded with everyone to believe him, insisting that the monsters were getting closer. He explained that as a monster tamer, he had an extraordinary sense for danger. Instructor Liao was surprised to hear that Subai had such a skill. She asked why the school hadn't recorded it. Subai replied that it was guaranteed a place at Marshall University, so his special abilities hadn't been noted. The students were shocked to hear that Subai had special abilities. One guy said, "If Subai has the ability to tame monsters, why haven't I seen anything he's tamed?" While they were talking, a loud noise suddenly came from the southwest. Some students came running, shouting that shadow cats were indeed approaching. Instructor Liao asked if they were sure, and the students confirmed that a whole lot of them were on their way. Hearing the news, Captain Liao ordered everyone to form a defensive formation. He instructed the messengers to contact the base and request reinforcements. The messenger returned with an update from the base. The surrounding camps were also under attack, so no reinforcements could be sent. Instructor Liao asked Captain Lai Dao if there were truly over 100 shadow cats, expressing concern that the students couldn't fight them without support. Captain Lai Dao drew his weapon and confirmed that Su Bai's senses had been accurate. He could now sense the approaching horde of monsters himself. He ordered the strike team leader to assign for soldiers to protect the students. Su Bai, wanting to join the fight, told Captain Lai Dao there was no need to protect him. Suddenly, a shadow cat, a monster at the early bronze stage, appeared and immediately leaped to attack. Captain Lai Dao and the soldiers started shooting at the monsters, ordering a retaliatory defense to protect the students. However, the regular soldiers were no match for the shadow cats, which were more like tigers than cats. Nevertheless, Captain Lai Dao and the instructors managed to kill some of them. Captain Lai Dao instructed everyone to stay in their defensive formation, saying, as long as we can withstand their initial attack, we'll be able to beat them. While they fought, some monsters sneaked past and attacked the students. The strike team leader shouted for the students to watch out. As the monsters closed in, the students raised their shields and chanted, "By the honor burning in my chest, my country will never fall." As they chanted, their body suits became glowing, forming a magical barrier around them. Before the monsters could reach the students, two stood at the back and moved forward to take on the attackers. The first student was Xiang Mani, an early bronze stage hunter. She told her partner to keep the monsters restrained while she shot them down. Her partner, Luo Yuncheng, also an early bronze stage hunter, fought with a long sword and told Manny, "It's just a bunch of cats. There's nothing to be scared of. I'll deal with them." Instructor Liao recognized them as the holy archer Zhang Manny and the divinely powerful Luo Yuncheng. She remarked, "This batch of students is really something." Su Bai was amazed by how powerful and impressive they were with their advanced weapons, while his only weapon was little turtle. Seeing Manny and the Luo Yuncheng, the other students grew excited. Judge Wing commented, "This blockhead is really powerful. He looks even more formidable than Brother Su." While everyone was focused on Manny and the Luo Yuncheng, they didn't notice a soldier struggling with a monster. Suddenly, a loud roar came from the forest, causing everyone to cover their ears. When the sound ceased, a large monster emerged from the forest, and all the shadow cats knelt before it. The new monster was the king of the shadow cats, a middle silver stage beast with a constitution of 45, agility of 88, and spirit of 43. Captain Lai Dao was shocked to see the king of the shadow cats and couldn't understand why a silver stage cat king had appeared here. He immediately ordered the messenger to contact the base again and request reinforcements. Unaware of the monster's strength, Manny and the Luo Yuncheng charged at it. The Luo Yuncheng jumped to attack with his sword, while Manny supported him by restricting the monster's vision. When Instructor Liao saw them charging at a silver stage monster, she was terrified and shouted, "Manny, Luo Yuncheng, come back now. This is a silver stage monster, not your plaything." But it was already too late. The king of the cats made its move and struck with its claws, taking down both Manny and the Luo Yuncheng in a single attack. They fell to the ground, losing their weapons. Instructor Liao urged them to return, but Captain Lai Dao told her it was too late. He ordered his soldiers to provide cover fire as the king of the shadow cats leaped again, aiming to strike down the soldiers. The king of the shadow cats jumped again to strike Manny and the Luo Yuncheng, who were injured and unable to defend themselves. However, before it could touch them, something shining green shot through the air at high speed and struck the king of the shadow cats in the face, sending it flying. Everyone was confused about what had just happened. That green, shining object turned out to be Su Bai's little turtle. Everyone was shocked to see a flying turtle and asked what it was. Instructor Liao explained to the others, "It's a turtle that hit the king of the shadow cats." When Han Jiagong saw the little turtle, he immediately recognized it as Su Bai's beast. Su Bai stepped forward to defend Manny and the Luo Yuncheng, saying, "As expected, this entrance is still a bit awkward." He introduced himself as Beast Hammer Su Bai and the little turtle as his beast. He then told Manny and the Luo Yuncheng to handle the smaller monsters, while he would deal with the Cat King. The other students were stunned at the sight of Su Bai and his turtle. They wondered if this turtle was really that impressive, and if the Cat King was truly knocked away by it. Yanyan was overjoyed to learn that the turtle was actually Su Bai's beast. When the king of the shadow cats got back up, Su Bai told his little turtle, "Show this wild cat what you can do." On his command, the little turtle charged at the king of the shadow cats with lightning speed. Manny, astonished by its speed, asked, "How is Subai's turtle running so fast? Is that even a turtle?" Captain Lai Dao, who was shooting at the shadow cats, was surprised when he saw the little turtle fighting the king. He hadn't expected Subai to have such power. Instructor Liao, fighting beside Captain Lai Dao, admitted that she hadn't expected it either, saying, "Subai's beast taming is indeed a bit different." Captain Lai Dao turned to the students and commanded, "Since Subai has already distracted the Cat King, focus your attacks and clear out these nether cats." On his command, the students immediately began killing the shadow cats like cats. Meanwhile, the king of the shadow cats, furious at the little turtle, used demonic flames to strike it with its claws. The attack landed squarely on the little turtle's shell. Instead of injuring the turtle, the king of the shadow cats lost all its claws. The little turtle had used its shell defense ability, which increased its defense by 300%. Captain Lai Dao was shocked to see a normal great creature withstand the silver cat king's crushing claws. He marveled at the little turtle's insane defense, but quickly refocused, realizing that now wasn't the time to be distracted. Captain Lai Dao immediately moved towards the king of the shadow cats and ordered his soldiers to cover him. "While the cat king is occupied, I'll finish it," he shouted. While the king was busy fighting the little turtle, Captain Lai Dao sneaked up from behind and jumped at it, aiming for its abdomen, its known weak spot. With all his power, he struck the king with his fire sword, yelling, "Prepare to die." The king of the shadow cat screamed in pain and lashed out with its tail, striking Captain Lai Dao and sending him flying. Captain Lai Dao's attack missed the abdomen. Undeterred, Captain Lai Dao got back up and charged at the king again, shouting once more, "Beast, it's either you die or I live." Seeing Captain Lai Dao charging in, Subai told the little turtle to use its ultimate move. Hearing this, the little turtle's body began to shine, and it started spinning rapidly. Jiajuing and Xiaoan watching were confused and asked, "What kind of ultimate move is this? Why is the turtle spinning in place?" Ignoring their confusion, Subai sprinted toward the spinning little turtle. He had read in a book that the cat king's weak spot was its abdomen. Timing his move perfectly, Subai kicked the spinning little turtle like a football, aiming directly at the cat king's abdomen. The little turtle flew toward the king like a bullet at high speed. Before the cat king could strike Captain Lai Dao again, the little turtle hit the king squarely in the abdomen with a solid impact. Little turtle's attack sent the cat king flying far away. After hitting the cat king, little turtle landed like a superhero. Captain Lai Dao was shocked that Subai had actually hit the weak spot. He moved closer to see if the cat king had survived. On the other hand, the cat king was bleeding heavily, but somehow managed to stand up again. It let out a loud roar towards the sky before collapsing. Finally, the cat king was dead. Seeing this, everyone jumped with joy, cheering, "The cat king has been defeated." Captain Lai Dao, injured and in disbelief, asked, "Did we really win?" Yanyan ran to Subai and hugged him tightly, exclaiming, "Subai, you're amazing. You defeated the golden level cat king." Subai was surprised by the sudden hug from Yanyan. Everyone gathered around him, praising his incredible feat. Jiajuing jokingly asked Subai where he got the turtle, saying he wanted one too. While they were busy talking, little turtle took the opportunity to search the cat king's body for something to eat. To its delight, it found a yellow beast core. Excited, it was about to eat the core when Subai noticed it. He shouted, "Little turtle, what are you sneaking off to eat now?" But before he could stop it, little turtle swallowed the yellow beast core. Subai was annoyed, but before he could say anything, a black shadow appeared in the sky. Everyone was confused and asked, "What's that in the sky?" Captain Lai Dao immediately recognized it and warned the group, "This is dangerous. The cat king's final howl has summoned its kind." Instructor Liao asked, "Could an even more dangerous beast be approaching?" Meanwhile, at the base operations center, a soldier reported to the commander, "According to the front-line energy wave analysis, base F-69 is detecting a large number of unknown level beasts. It's becoming extremely dangerous." This was the same base where Subai and the students were stationed. Suddenly, the commander received news that Ulin's daughter Yanyan was among the trainee students at base F-69. When Yuan, who delivered the news, urged the commander to provide immediate support, the commander agreed without hesitation, saying, "I'll dispatch a scout company to escort Mr. Wen to the battlefield." However, Mr. Wen refused the escort, saying he couldn't wait and would head there himself. Before leaving, he turned to the commander and said, "Within 20 minutes, I hope reinforcements will reach the battlefield." Hearing this, the commander assured him, "I'm giving the order now." The commander was deeply nervous, understanding the gravity of the situation. He thought to himself, "If Ulin goes mad, the entire Jiangzhou won't be able to handle it." He immediately issued orders to send reinforcements. Back at base F-69, as the black shadows covered the sky, a pair of glowing red eyes appeared, glaring at the group with rage. A loud voice echoed, "Foolish humans, lowly species." Hearing the voice, Instructor Liao was stunned and asked Captain Lai Dao, "How is this possible? It can actually speak human language." Captain Lai Dao, equally shocked, replied, "This is impossible. A beast that understands human language must be at least golden level. It shouldn't be here." He immediately ordered everyone, quickly form a defensive formation. Place the injured in the center. Suddenly, the black shadow descended to the ground beside the cat king's dead body. From the shadow came a furious voice. "Lowly species, how dare you slaughter my kind?" The shadow then began devouring the cat king's body. The students were horrified and disgusted as they watched the monster eat the cat king. Captain Lai Dao, seeing the creature, said, "This is absolutely impossible. How could something like that appear in this area?" Suddenly, Subai received a system warning notification. The system alerted him to extreme danger, stating that a golden level beast had been detected nearby. The system urged him, "Please leave immediately. Leave low threat level, 5 stars, extreme danger." Subai was shocked to realize that the shadow was indeed a golden level beast. The monster that emerged from the shadows was the Shadow Cat King, a mutated golden level beast with 272 constitution, 345 agility, and 275 mentality. After sustaining severe injuries, the Shadow Cat King entered a bloodthirsty berserk state, increasing its agility and attack by 100%, while reducing its defense by 50%. Luo Yangcheng was horrified, exclaiming, "It's a golden level beast. Even our teacher probably hasn't faced one." Manny, trembling with fear, fell to the ground, crying, "I want to go home. I don't want to die." Seeing that reinforcements had not yet arrived, Captain Lai Dao charged at the Shadow Cat King, ordering, "Everyone, escort the wounded and retreat. I'll cover you." With determination, he leaped to attack, shouting, "Beast, I'll fight you to the death." However, with just one swing of its claws, the Shadow Cat King sent Captain Lai Dao flying. The monster then raised its claws ready to strike the finishing blow. Seeing this, Subai threw Little Turtle towards Captain Lai Dao, commanding, "Protect him." As the Shadow Cat King's attack descended, Little Turtle jumped in between and blocked it with its shell defense. The Shadow Cat King was shocked by the turtle's exceptionally tough shell, but suddenly, deep scratches appeared on Little Turtle's shell and it began to bleed. Captain Lai Dao, still stunned, gasped and asked, "Little Turtle, are you okay?" Seeing Little Turtle injured, Subai tried to rush over, but before he could move, he also sustained injuries. Coughing up blood, he felt the same pain as Little Turtle. Yanyan, standing beside him, was shocked to see him in such a state, and asked if he was hurt. Instructor Liao, who was assisting Captain Lai Dao, was equally shocked. She couldn't understand how Subai had been injured, since she hadn't seen the Shadow Cat King attack him. Captain Lai Dao wondered aloud, could it be the beast tamer's same origin effect? Hearing this, Instructor Liao responded, "Impossible. I'll go check on him." Suddenly, a system notification appeared for Subai, explaining, because the tamed beast has fallen into a serious injury state. The tamer's talent, the same origin, has been triggered the host, and the tamed beast now share energy and damage. Instructor Liao came to check on Subai, but found no external injuries. Shocked, she wondered, could Subai have truly mastered the legendary beast taming skill? In pain, Subai collapsed, but Yanyan caught him before he hit the ground. She was deeply worried about his condition. Subai, reading the system notification, understood what had happened. He reassured Yanyan, saying, "I'm okay." Instructor Liao, pointing her sword at the Shadow Cat King, declared, "Subai is sharing the attacks of the golden level Shadow Cat King with his tamed beast. We can't let him fight alone. Let's support him." "Yes, we can't let him fight alone," all the students and soldiers shouted in unison. As everyone charged at the Shadow Cat King, the beast sneered. Its eyes burned with anger and it mocked them. A bunch of ants. When the students, along with Instructor Liao and Captain Lai Dao, attacked the Shadow Cat King, shifted into its shadow form, and sent one of its shadow minions directly at Subai. Instructor Liao noticed this and shouted a warning to Subai to be careful. Yanyan, seeing the shadow minion coming, tried to shield Subai by taking the hit herself. However, before the minion could reach them, a massive explosion engulfed the area in flames. When the smoke cleared, Subai and Yanyan were unharmed. Yanyan, shocked, asked, "What just happened?" Subai smiled, realizing what had occurred. The core crystal of the silver Shadow Cat King has finally been absorbed. A system notification appeared, announcing, "Little Turtle has upgraded to bronze level. Black Turtle The black tortoise bloodline has been activated, allowing the black tortoise illusion to be maintained for a short period. Little Turtle has gained a new talent, Turtle Gravity. With 10% of its bloodline activated, all attributes have improved, and talents are enhanced. The system detailed Little Turtle's new stats. Its physical strength is 218, defense is 362, agility is 55, and spirit is 60. Now it has 3 skills. First skill is Black Turtle Barrier. Gathers Little Turtle's energy to form a defensive barrier, increase in defense by 300%. Second skill was Turtle Spirit Possession. Consumes physical energy to envelop Little Turtle's body, enhancing attack power by 100% and defense by 200%. Third skill was Turtle Gravity. Launches a gravitational skill at a designated target, pulling them in. As the Black Tortoise bloodline awakened, Little Turtle entered its spirit form. A colossal beast resembling a projection emerged from Little Turtle's body. Everyone was awestruck, staring at Little Turtle's spirit form. Instructor Liao asked, "Has Subai's beast evolved?" Seeing the golden light radiating from Little Turtle, Captain Liao wondered, could this be the mark of an epic beast hunter? After Little Turtle's awakening, Subai stood up. Yanyan asked him, "Is your injury healed?" Subai reassured her, "I'm fine." He then pointed at the Shadow Cat King and commanded Little Turtle, "Kill that beast for me." On Subai's command, Little Turtle's spirit swung its massive hand and struck the Shadow Cat King, sending it flying with just one attack. Everyone was astonished by Little Turtle's power. Captain Liao was shocked and exclaimed, "Subai's Hanged Beast is only at the initial bronze level, but it has such terrifying strength. The bloodline level must be extremely high." Luo Yongchong couldn't believe their eyes, marveling that Subai, a bronze-level beastamere, managed to knock away the Shadow Cat King. The Shadow Cat King, though sent flying, managed to regain its balance. Now furious, it let out a thunderous roar and summoned its shadow minions. "I want you all to die," it bellowed, releasing the minions to attack the students. Seeing the Shadow Cat King go berserk, Captain Liao yelled, "Everyone, watch out, retreat and split up." However, the Shadow Cat King created down scenes of shadow minions, sneering, "Don't even think about running away." The minions avoided Little Turtle and charged toward the students and soldiers. Seeing this, Subai commanded Little Turtle, "Stop them." Little Turtle immediately used his Turtle Gravity skill over the entire area. A golden light spread across the battlefield, and before the shadow minions could reach the students, they flounced in midair. Little Turtle then pulled all the shadow minions toward itself, opened its massive mouth and swallowed them whole, killing them instantly. Subai then instructed, "Don't hold back. Finish it." On his command, Little Turtle began gathering immense energy, a golden aura radiating from its body. It then unleashed a powerful energy beam directly at the Shadow Cat King. The Shadow Cat King, despite its strength, couldn't withstand the attack and was vaporized in an instant. A few minutes later, Mr. Moon arrived at the battlefield, only to find the fight already over. The ground was scorched with a massive crack running through it. Surveying the destruction, he wondered, what on earth did they endure on such a tragic battlefield? Meanwhile, Captain Liao was commanding his troops to clean up the battlefield quickly. Mr. One hurried over to Yanyan, who was collecting monster cores with Instructor Liao, relieved to see her unharmed. He said, "I'm so glad you're okay." Yanyan was a little surprised to see him there, while Instructor Liao, confused, asked her, "Why is Mr. Wen here?" Captain Liao immediately saluted Mr. Wen and introduced himself as Liao Lin, the Deputy Battalion Commander of F-69 Military Base. Recognizing Mr. Wen's high rank, Captain Liao reported, "In this battle, a squad of my troops cooperated with the instructors and students from Marshall University. We encountered a large group of nether cats. Over 800 nether cats were killed, including several bronze level ones, 1 silver level 1, and 1 gold level. Casualties are still being counted, and initial treatment is being provided to the seriously injured." Mr. Wen was stunned. A gold level beast appeared. He asked in disbelief. Looking at the massive crack in the ground, he continued, "Captain Liao, you actually killed this gold-level monster. It's unbelievable." Pointing at Subai, Captain Liao reported to Mr. Wen, "It was Subai and his trained beast who killed the Shadow Cat King." Hearing this, Mr. Wen turned to Subai and asked, "Did you really kill this Shadow Cat King?" Subai, acting modest, replied, "It wasn't just my effort. The Deputy Battalion Commander, the instructors, and I worked together to take it down." Impressed by Subai's humility, Mr. Wen patted him on the shoulder and asked, "After graduating from university, would you be interested in studying at the Zhongzhou Fortress? Even though the Beast Tamers division has dwindled, I will personally guide you." Hearing this, Subai was thrilled, but replied politely, "Thank you for your kindness, Mr. Wen. I hadn't thought that far ahead yet." While they were talking, Captain Lai Dao approached and reported to Mr. Wen, "The battlefield has been cleared." He then asked, "Please give us your next instructions." Mr. Wen instructed everyone to return to base. When they returned to the base, Captain Lai Dao stood in front of the teleportation formation and asked the instructors to count the number of people and have all candidates enter the portal in an orderly manner. He then addressed the students, saying, "Go back and train hard. You are the strongest class I have ever met." The students thanked Captain Lai Dao before leaving. As they departed, Captain Lai Dao turned to instructor Liao and remarked, "These students are extraordinary, especially Subai. He has a bright future ahead of him." Instructor Liao nodded in agreement, saying, "For a freshman to achieve this level of strength is incredible. I can't imagine how powerful he'll become in the future." Captain Lai Dao smiled and added, "Instructor Liao will meet again someday. This time, I owe Subai my life." Instructor Liao replied, "You're too kind." Before they parted ways, one by one, everyone entered the teleportation formation and returned to Marshall University. Subai and Yanran were together, and he was overjoyed to finally be back. Jin Chuin was ecstatic, exclaiming, "This trip was absolutely thrilling." Upon their return to the university, they were greeted with banners and cheers from the other students who had gathered to welcome the heroes back from victory. All the teachers and students of Zhengzhou Marshall University were present. A teacher handed a bouquet of flowers to Luo Yankang, saying, "Welcome home, hero." Luo Yankang was surprised and humbly responded, "The real hero is Subai. We're nothing. We were just cannon fodder." The other injured students agreed, telling the teachers, "It's good enough that we made it back alive. If not for the many missing classmates, we might have thought this was all just a dream." Instructor Zhang approached and patted Subai on the back, saying, "I already heard about your actions on the battlefield. You are all heroes of Zhengzhou Marshall University. Your test scores this time will be the highest ever recorded." Hearing about the assessment results, Subai was overjoyed and said, "All I want to do now is go back to the dormitory, take a shower and have a good night's sleep." All the students laughed and agreed that they all needed rest. In Subai's room, Jin Chuin joked, "Don't you feel like the bed is extra soft tonight?" Fan Chaoan laughed and replied, "I've already been trapped by this bed." Turning to Anjin Ungong, Fan Chaoan asked, "Since we accomplished such a great feat this time, will we be credited with a military achievement?" Anjin Ungong laughed and teased, "How many resources do you think you can exchange for your limited capabilities? But our brother Su killed the gold-level monster, so he'll definitely exchange it for a ton of cultivation resources." Suddenly, Anjin Ungong remembered something and stood up, asking Subai, "What kind of turtle is yours? I want to buy one to raise at home. If nothing else, it's calming to watch a turtle." He chuckled, "Though watching it makes me feel a little jealous." Meanwhile, little turtle was lost in its dreams of a harem filled with female turtles. The next day, early in the morning, someone continuously knocked on Subai's room door. Irritated by the sounds of knocking, Anjin Ungong woke up. He shouted, telling the person outside to stop knocking already. He was angry, wondering who it could be knocking this early in the morning. But when he opened the door, he was shocked to see many girls standing in front of the door holding gifts in their hands. A girl in glasses came forward and said, "Juniors, we're from Zhongwu Student Council. You're all heroes who just returned from the battlefield. We came to bring breakfast for you." A red-haired girl added that the seniors made it all by themselves and hoped it didn't find it lacking. A purple-haired girl, while giving the breakfast to Anjin Ungong, asked him who Subai was among them. Anjin Ungong got very happy after seeing that many beauties early in the morning. He thanked the seniors, saying he certainly wouldn't let their efforts go to waste. He let all of them enter the room. The purple-haired girl, looking around their room again, asked Anjin Ungong who Subai was. Hearing all that commotion, Fan Chaoan also woke up. The red-haired girl asked him where Subai was and if she could take a photo with him. Pointing at Subai's bed, Fan Chaoan told those girls that his brother Su went out for a run. He asked them if they knew his brother Su. Hearing that Subai wasn't there, those girls got very disappointed and asked Fan Chaoan why he didn't say so earlier. The purple-haired girl told him that everyone on campus now knows Subai. With a sad face, she said, "Too bad Subai doesn't know me." Jin Chuin also woke up and was surprised to hear that his brother Su is famous now. While leaving, the purple-haired girl told them to turn on the TV and take a look. She also took back the breakfast box she gave to Anjin Ungong, saying, "Since Subai isn't here, I'll just take the breakfast back." Then Anjin Ungong and the others were shocked to see how these girls changed after knowing that Subai was not there. They all turned out to be gold diggers. On the other hand, Subai was running on the university's field while taking note of his health. Suddenly, an important announcement on military channel attracted the attention of everyone in the stadium, and they all looked at the broadcasting screen. The announcement was that yesterday, several provinces experienced large-scale attacks by ferocious beasts from the myriad races on military bases. Behind human lines, among the beasts attacking the bases, gold-tier combatants were present in each instance. Students from martial arts universities across provinces were massacred, with survival rates less than 1 in 100. During this campaign, the instructors and students of Jeonjo Martial University fought valiantly. They slew 1 gold-tier beast, 1 silver-tier beast, and numerous bronze-tier and ordinary-tier beasts. Among them, freshman Subai single-handedly held off a gold-tier beast with the support of instructors and a bronze-tier expert from the military. He achieved the feat of cross-tier slaying, a complete defeat across the board, with Jeonjo Martial University standing as the sole victor. The news also showed Subai's photo on the screen and continued that the military has decided to award all participating students and instructors from Jeonjo Martial University a collective second-class honor and a Great Wall Silver Medal. As for student Subai, for his outstanding contributions, he is awarded a first-class honor and a Great Wall Gold Medal. Subai was surprised and confused by the sudden awarding of the first-class honor. Everyone at the stadium was shocked to hear that Subai, a freshman, had achieved something this incredible. One guy, very jealous of Subai, remarked, "A Great Wall Gold Medal, something I could never achieve in my life, is given to a freshman." A girl very impressed by Subai shouted, "The Martial University is mighty. I really want to meet Subai." And she asked others who were acquainted with Subai, saying she wanted to date him, realizing that if he stayed there, those crazy girls would not let him escape. Subai covered his face, thinking it was better to sneak away quickly. Slowly, he got away from there and hid behind a wall, where others could not see him. While he was taking a breath, his phone rang. It was Subai's sister Su Xiaomei, who was very excited and told Subai that he was on TV. Subai was surprised that even people outside the university also got the news. He told his sister that he had already seen it. Su Xiaomei told him that their mom and dad wanted him to come home to celebrate for him. Knowing his family's financial condition, Subai asked, "Isn't that unnecessary?" Subai's mother and father, who were sitting beside Su Xiaomei, were very proud of Subai. His father told him that he had achieved such an honor, and now everyone in the neighborhood wanted to see him. Subai's mother told him that his third uncle's sister-in-law had just called saying she wanted to introduce him to a girlfriend. Su Xiaomei told him he better come back quickly, otherwise their front door was about to get kicked down by their neighbors. Hearing them so happy, Subai said, "The test just ended, and we have 2 days off. I'll pack up and come back to take a look." His sister was very happy and told him that, since he is so famous now, their dad will grin in his sleep. Subai laughed and told her to hang up now. That afternoon, Subai returned to his family's apartment. All the neighbors started calling Subai's father, saying, "Old Su, your family's hero is coming home. Come out and welcome him." Subai was shocked to see that many people standing in front of their house, and asked them if all of them were waiting for him. The whole neighborhood was gathered there to welcome Subai. They started cheering that the great hero was back. A woman came forward and asked Subai if he still remembered her, saying she had held him when he was a kid. Subai was very surprised and asked, "Isn't everyone being way too enthusiastic?" Subai's family also came out. Su Xiaomei jumped to hug her hero brother. His mother and father were very happy to see Subai. Subai's father grabbed his hand and asked him to come home. While it was going, another woman asked Subai to come and eat at her house, saying she made seafood dumplings. Subai thanked her, but told her that he is allergic to seafood. An old man came forward and asked Subai's father to bring Subai to his house, saying he had stewed turtle soup and they could have some together. Subai's father thanked everyone and told them that they had already prepared food at home. He added that he would bring Subai to visit each of them once he had rested. Subai told them that later on, he would definitely visit all the uncles and aunties. Hearing that, an old auntie came forward and asked Subai's father to bring Subai over later. Her granddaughter is a university student in the city, and they could meet there. But another uncle came forward and told that auntie that her granddaughter isn't worthy of Subai. His granddaughter just graduated this year, and he would introduce Subai to her. Subai's father didn't expect their neighbors to behave like that. Somehow, Subai and his family returned to their house, and Subai was exhausted from dealing with all of them. He said that if he had known it would be like this, he would have snuck back after dark. Su Xiaomei told him that it wouldn't work because Aunt Jane had installed surveillance outside their house. She was just waiting for Subai to come back so she could introduce her granddaughter to him. Subai's father immediately walked towards the kitchen, telling them he was personally cooking today. His mother told Subai to take a rest first, saying his dad and she would cook. She asked her daughter to come help out. Subai immediately threw his bag on the side of the sofa and sat her down, finally getting a moment to catch his breath. But before he could rest, suddenly, a system notification popped up in front of his eyes. The system detected a contractible creature, a little kitten, and asked Subai if he wished to tame the little kitten. Subai was surprised to see that notification. It was the Beastmaster's intuition. Seeing him looking surprised, Su Xiaomei asked him what was wrong. Subai asked his little sister if their family got a cat. She pointed at a little cat eating food in the corner of the room and asked him if he meant Little White. Seeing the cat, Subai asked his sister if they couldn't have a more impressive pet. Su Xiaomei petted the little cat and asked Subai what was not impressive about Little White, saying, "It's so cute." She told him that after it took Little White, she found Little White on the road a few days ago, so she brought it home. Subai didn't argue with his sister and told her that it's cute if she says it is. He thought that if his sister likes it so much, maybe he should not tame it. But the little cat status window popped up in front of him. The tamed beast's name is Little Kitten. Its level is ordinary. Initial stage. It contains traces of the white tiger sacred beast bloodline with infinite growth potential and eventual god-slaying capabilities. Currently, its average physical defense and spirit is 1. Its agility is 3, and its ability is Claw Strike, which increases attack speed and damage by 100%. Its evolution method is consumption. The system asked Subai if he wanted to tame the kitten. Subai was too shocked to see the little cat status window, wondering if this stray cat really could have the white tiger bloodline. The little cat looked at Subai with curiosity. Su Xiaomei told Subai that it seemed to like him. Subai clicked on the tame option, thinking he should tame it first and figure it out later. After taming the little cat, he turned to his sister and while smiling, called her to discuss something. He told her it was about the little cat because her brother is a beastmaster. Before Subai could finish what it was saying, Su Xiaomei immediately declined. She took Little Cat and said, "Since you already took Little 8, don't think about taking Little White." Subai tried to convince her, saying they could negotiate on this. He asked her if she didn't want a laptop. Su Xiaomei ran with Little Cat telling Subai that it wouldn't do. She wouldn't give Little White to him. A few minutes later, Subai's mother came with food and saw Subai chasing Su Xiaomei, who was running away with Little Cat in her hand. And 2 days later, when Subai returned to the university, he had both Little Turtle and Little Cat with him. When students at the university saw Subai, they immediately recognized him. Seeing the cat in Subai's backpack, a girl asked others why he had a cat in his bag, and if he was a cat lover. Inside Subai's bag, Little Turtle was very happy to be with Little Cat. It told Little Cat that this is the boss's school and it would have her back from today. However, Little Cat was very uncomfortable in the small bag and complained to Subai that Little Turtle was squishing her. Subai didn't understand what they were talking about. While they was walking, a boy spotted Subai and said, "Isn't that Subai, the one who got the gold medal?" Another boy added, "Is that why, despite his average looks, so many girls are running to his dorm?" They were jealous of Subai's achievements. Hearing them all, Subai thought, "Looks like I'll need to wear a mask when going out in the future." While he was walking, suddenly, there was an announcement asking student Subai to please report to the principal's office immediately. Subai was surprised by the announcement, wondering what the principal could want with him. When he went to the principal's office, the principal told Subai that he is truly a man of Huasha because of his excellent performance at the EFTA 69 military base. The school has decided to reward him. The principal asked Subai what he would like. Subai said that he is really grateful to the school and also to the principal. Subai had always heard that their principal is a stingy man. It would probably be tough, even trying to get some food for Little 8. He acted like he was thinking hard and told the principal that he wouldn't want the school to go bankrupt over him. "So how about 100 gold tier B's course?" The principal acted shocked after hearing 100 gold tier B's course and said, "Subai, I don't have that many of them. Even if you ground my bones to dust, why don't you ask for the principal's position instead?" Subai then told the principal that he could sell for 100 silver tier ones too. Hearing about the silver tier, the principal told him not to even think about it. He couldn't even get scraps with the amount of honor he has. Subai told his principal that he doesn't want that gold medal or whatever. He have 50 silver tier B scores instead. He tried to make the situation emotional, saying, "Principal, you know, I bled for the school." But the principal didn't fall for that and said, "Subai, humans are humans. The strong and the human race have the responsibility and duty to protect the weak. When you saved these students, you were carrying out a duty of yours as one of the strong ones." Subai was lost for words seeing the principal. "Principal, please, no more yapping. Let's settle with 50 silver tier B scores." The principal completely ignored his words and told him that the military and the school are not going to give up on a genius like him. He took a deep breath and told Subai that this is the most he can do. He will let him have 10 bronze tier B scores. Subai was shocked to hear that his reward is just 10 bronze tier. He immediately declined and asked for 20 bronze tier B scores. The principal agreed to 15 and told him it's final. Subai accepted the deal. The principal realized that Subai was trying to haggle with him. Subai also realized that his principal is very cheap. The principal then turned around and told Subai that in addition to the rewards, there's a little something he needs to let Subai know. Surprised, Subai asked him what it is. The principal told Subai that he has been selected by their school as the representative from the first year and will participate in this year's 100 schools tournament. Subai was confused to hear about the 100 schools tournament and asked the principal if the reward offer was just a ruse. He said, "Principal, this isn't very nice of you." The principal urged him not to put it that way, explaining that as a student of the Zhongzhou Martial University, it is his duty to bring honor to the school. The principal mentioned that Subai wanted resources and that the tournament is very generous with rewards. Subai replied, "Principal, there must be lots of skilled people in the 100 schools tournament. It'd be difficult to even get a rank, wouldn't it? It'll be hard work." The principal then asked how the youth of today could be scared of challenges and told Subai to prepare and come to the training room tomorrow. Subai agreed and left. The principal looked outside the window and thought it was getting more difficult to engage the youth today in such activities. Meanwhile, as he was leaving, Subai thought of the tales of the principal being a sly old fox and realized that the gossip was definitely accurate. The next day, 10 students gathered in the practice hall. The principal told them that the 100 schools tournament is hosted by the military, though the Ministry of Education had given them far fewer resources compared to better-known schools like the martial universities of Beijing and Shanghai. He still sent them off with the hope that they would achieve better results. The principal started the roll call. First was third year, Hu Qingxu, a bronze middle-tier awakener of the Wadada Mendel. Then came Baining Bing, and then Xiong Tanxiong. While the principal was calling their names, an annoyed student commented that it was unfair. Zhongzhou Martial University was founded later, so students here received much fewer resources than those going to famous schools. A girl standing behind agreed, saying she heard that their school has always ranked very low. The principal then called first year Subai name last. He immediately responded that he was present. The principal told the students that they are the top students in their respective years, representing the school in the tournament. Then the principal took out a paper and announced that this year the team leader would be Subai. Subai was shocked to hear his name and questioned if it was a mistake. When other students heard Subai's name, they became angry. One student asked why a freshman like Subai would be the team lead instead of Hu Qingxu, the strongest and most experienced among them. Another student pointed out that Subai is just at the initial tier of bronze, a whole tier behind Hu Qingxu. Questioning how he could lead them, the principal became angry and asked if they had seen the news in the past days, explaining that Subai is capable of defeating gold-tier beasts. He challenged anyone who wanted to be the leader to kill a gold-tier beast right now, and he would consider making the swap. Hearing this, a boy laughed and doubted Subai's ability, suggesting it might have just been luck. Another student looked angrily at Subai and said he didn't believe it either. He challenged Subai to a fight right there. All the seniors were angry at Subai, saying they also wanted to challenge him. Subai tried to calm them down, explaining that he was not aware of the whole leader situation at all. Subai was angry with the principal because he felt he was being made a target by everyone. The principal immediately walked away, stating that is all for today. He told them to get ready now, as the tournament was less than 20 days away and he looked forward to their performances. While others were listening to the principal, Subai also made his escape. Some students noticed and shouted, asking where he was going. As he ran away, Subai responded, "Dear seniors, I'm in a hurry. I'll be going to my dorm now." Seeing Subai escape, a boy called him a coward, doubting that Subai had killed the gold-tier beast at all. Another boy angrily declared that he would show Subai who's boss once the tournament started. On the other hand, Subai returned to his dormitory and called his little turtle, telling it that it was time to eat. Looking in his inventory, Subai said, "At least the old man kept his word." He told the little turtle that there were 15 bronze-tier beast cores, enough for it to level up. When Subai gave a beast core to the little cat tried to snatch it. Subai told the little cat not to rush, because there was something for it too. He took out some blood essence and gave it to the little cat, because its level was still too low. Seeing the little cat eat the blood essence, the little turtle made an innocent face to get some too. "It sure eats a lot." Subai gave it another beast core. He was crying while giving those beast cores to the little turtle, because one bite costs hundreds of 1,000 of yuan. The little turtle ate it immediately and asked for more. Subai, while crying, asked how much more it needed to eat to evolve. He poured all the beast cores into the little turtle's bowl and told it that these were the last ones. If it still didn't evolve, then he would feed everything to the little cat in the future. The little cat was happy to hear that. After eating those beast cores, the little turtle body started shining again. Subai got a little scared, seeing the golden light coming out of the little turtle's body. The whole university started shaking because of the little turtle's evolution. Everyone was confused, asking what happened and wondering if it was an earthquake. A system notification congratulated Subai because his mystic tortoise had leveled up to the bronze middle tier. Subai's level also increased. Currently, the little turtle's level is bronze middle stage, and 30% of its Shunwu bloodline is activated. All its attributes are enhanced and talents are strengthened. The little turtle's physique is 568, defense is 862, agility is 95, and spirit is 90. Subai was happy that the little turtle finally leveled up. It didn't get more talents, but the stats and talent levels increased a lot. While Subai was looking at the little turtle's status window, suddenly another notification congratulated him because the little cat also leveled up to the ordinary high tier and awakened. Subai attained beast. Little kitten is now an ordinary high-level beast. It contains traces of the white tiger sacred beast, bloodline with infinite growth potential, and eventually god-slaying capabilities. Now its strength is 39, defense is 38, agility is 79, and spirit is 25. It also has 3 talents. The first is called Strike, which activates by consuming stamina, increasing attack speed and damage by 100%. The second talent is Bloodlust, which activates by consuming stamina, increasing attack by 100% to 500%. The graver the wounds, the higher the bonus. The third talent is Ghostly Honing Step. It increases movement speed by 100% to 200%. The bonus increases when more vitality is consumed. Seeing the second notification, Subai jumped in happiness. That little cat leveled up as well. He pet both of his pets and said, "Now that little A and little White have both leveled up, it's time to show them off on the stage of the 100 schools tournament." Subai also leveled up with his beast and became a bronze middle level. His bonus stats increased by 30% from Mystic Turtle and 20% from Little Cat. Currently, his strength is 115, agility is 74, and spirit is 86. Subai now has 3 talents. The first is Infinite Evolution, which applies to all tamed beasts and is gifted by the system. The second talent is that he can use all skills from tamed beasts. This talent is an exclusive Beastmaster Awakened talent. The third talent is originating from the same source, with which Subai can share the energy as well as damage sustained with tamed beasts. The next day, Subai went to the Jeonjo Martial University Library and was surprised by the huge building. He told the librarian that he didn't expect Jeonjo's library to be this big. The librarian informed Subai that their school's library had been here even before the university was founded, serving as the cornerstone of Jeonjo Martial University's heritage. While scanning Subai's head, she was surprised to see that a freshman already had 180 credits. As a beast tamer, Subai asked her about books related to beast taming. The librarian pointed him in the right direction and told him he was free to look up whatever information he needed. Subai thanked her and went to the beast taming section. He was surprised to see quite a few books on beast taming and thought it would take him a long time to go through them all. While picking his first book, he saw one written by Luo Fan. The name sounded familiar to him. Subai picked up the book, and while flipping through its pages, he noticed the beast taming skills written in the book, which included heavens and earth converge, the undying soul, divine weapons gather, sacred beasts armed, the roots of grass and trees, and origin confluence. Subai recognized the origin confluence skill, as he had already mastered it. He wondered what the undying soul and sacred beasts armed meant. While engrossed in the book, Subai didn't realize he had left the beast taming section. 3 seniors walking by noticed him coming out of the section. They were the same seniors who had been selected for the university competition with Subai. Seeing him, one senior mocked, saying, "A beast tamer has no future no matter how much they study." They then left to get their books. Subai didn't even notice them, as he was fully focused on the book. He was amazed by what he read, saying he didn't expect senior Luo Fan to be so powerful. Luo Fan had created 3 divine skills, Origin Confluence, Sacred Beast Armed, and Undying Soul, and had single-handedly fought against the invasion of all the tribes. It was a pity that he was eventually outnumbered and died on the battlefield. Just by briefly looking into the book, Subai understood that he needed to read it carefully. Suddenly, something shocking happened. While reading, the book started shining. Subai was shocked and confused. He couldn't understand what was going on and why the book was floating. He even felt a force flowing into his body. After the book stopped shining, Subai took it to the librarian and asked if he could borrow it. The librarian was surprised to see the book because it didn't have a classification label. She told Subai that it probably wasn't from library. Subai insisted that it couldn't be possible because he took it from the bookshelf. The librarian decided to check the contents of the book, but even after using all her power, she could not open it. Frustrated, she wondered why she couldn't open the book. Subai was surprised to hear that, and said, "That can't be right. I was just reading it a moment ago. Let me take a look." When Subai tried to open the book, it opened immediately. He asked the librarian to look, saying, "How is it possible that it can't be opened?" The librarian was also confused and said, "Maybe something went wrong." She told Subai to just take it to read, and that he could return it whenever he was done. Subai immediately took the book and asked the librarian if he could borrow it for as long as he wanted. The librarian said, "Yes." Subai was happy to hear that, and thanked the librarian before leaving. After Subai left, the librarian called the university principal and told him that the book he left on the bookshelf had been taken by Subai. The principal was shocked and asked if Subai could actually open that book. The librarian confirmed that it was true. She had seen it with her own eyes. The first year student, Subai, opened that book. Hearing this, the principal was very happy. He looked up at the sky and said, "Luo Fan, the person you've been waiting for, has finally appeared after 100 years. If you in the underworld are aware of it, you should be very happy." 2 weeks later, at the Marshall University's 100 Schools League, people started to gather at the stadium. A reporter informed the audience that the 100 Schools League was divided into 5 major battle zones: East, South, West, North, and Central. Each battle zone would have 2 qualifying teams. The 8 Marshall Universities of Jeonjo Province would all gather at Jeonjo Marshall University to compete. The stadium was full, and tickets for this year's 100 Schools League were hard to come by. University buses began to arrive, carrying the participants of the competition. A group of students from Fuchuan made fun of the Longying Marshall University students, saying, "Longying Marshall University dares to show up. They're just here to get beaten." The Longying Marshall University students responded saying, "Who gets beaten is still up in the air. Just wait and see you, trash from Fuchuan." All the students were very competitive towards each other as they entered the stadium. The audience also started to gather as the competition was about to start. At the seating stand of Subai's Jeonjo Marshall University, Instructor Liao arrived and asked if everyone was there. A senior told Instructor Liao that Subai hadn't arrived yet, but everyone else was there. Another senior said, "Subai is our team captain. He wouldn't back out at the last minute." Just as he said that, a voice came saying, "How could I back out at the last minute? It was Subai." Instructor Liao was shocked to see Subai. It had only been a few days, but she could feel that Subai's strength had improved significantly. She told Subai that the match was about to start, and they needed to arrange their lineup. Subai told Instructor Liao not to worry, saying he had it all planned out. Before the start of the competition, a host appeared on the big screen and said, "Ladies and gentlemen, teachers and students, just a month ago, the Myriad Beast clans deployed large-scale forces to pin down the military's front-line capabilities. Meanwhile, smaller groups of vicious beasts bypassed the front lines to attack several provinces' rear military bases. The Martial University students in the attacked provinces were nearly wiped out by the myriad beast clans, with less than 1 in 100 surviving. The host asked, "Compatriots, shall we avenge this?" The whole audience shouted together, "We must avenge them. Kill all the vicious beasts. The human race must win." Seeing the audience's energy, the host said, "If our human race has this spirit, how can the vicious beasts not be destroyed? This is the very purpose of today's 100 Schools League. Now, I declare the official opening of the Jeongjo Provincial League." Then the rules of the competition were announced. As this is a team battle format, each team can have up to 5 participants in each match. The loser is eliminated and the winner continues. The team with the last remaining participant wins. The host proceeded with a random draw for the matchups. The first match was between Longyin Martial University and Xinmin. The second match was between Jeongjo Martial University and Xinyuan Martial University. The third match was between Fuchuan Martial University and Xichang Martial University. The fourth match was between NA Martial University and Jiangsu Martial University. The host asked participants from Longyin Martial University and Xinmin Martial University to come to the field. Subai seniors were a little surprised to see that they had actually drawn Xinyuan Martial University. Instructor Liao was also worried because the fight between Longyin and Xinmin had already started and their lineup hadn't been decided yet. While they were talking, suddenly, the principal of Jeongjo Martial University came and asked Subai if he had arranged the lineup. Subai proudly told the principal that for the lineup he would be the first to go. The remaining 4 could figure it out themselves. Everyone was surprised to hear that and asked Subai if this was a strategy. A senior asked Subai if they shouldn't make targeted arrangements based on Xinyuan Martial University's lineup. Other seniors agreed with that senior and asked Subai what would happen if he couldn't win. It would be an embarrassment for Jeongjo Martial University. The seniors were very angry at Subai. Subai told everyone not to worry, saying he would not disappoint them. While they were talking, the principal noticed that in just a few days, Subai's level had increased so much. The principal admitted that his comprehension was really impressive. The principal whispered to Subai not to go too far and at least leave some soup for his seniors to drink. Otherwise, if he offended them all, it would be hard for Subai to get by in school in the future. Subai nodded that he understood. On the other hand, the Longyin Martial University and Xinmin match ended with Xinmin Martial University winning. Seeing their fight, Instructor Liao said, "Xinmin Martial University is incredibly strong. They defeated Longyin so quickly." She then turned to Subai and wished him all the best as it was his turn to take the stage. Subai walked towards the arena. He asked his seniors to watch closely. His seniors didn't like his attitude, saying, "Let's see how capable he is." When Subai went on the arena, Wei Fu Yanran started cheering for him. Subai's roommates were also there cheering for him. To fight a red-haired student from Xinyuan Martial University came on the stage. When the red-haired student saw Subai, he immediately recognized him and said, "You must be that freshman who slayed the golden tier vicious beast." "Right." Subai, a little annoyed by his title, admitted that it's him. That red-haired guy was Xinyuan Martial University squad Captain Li Linfeng, a mid-bronze rank stone power user. Li Linfeng transformed his arms into stone and said to Subai that today he would show him what true power is like. Subai completely ignored his warning and focused on taking out his little turtle from the back. Li Linfeng was surprised to see the little turtle and asked Subai if this was his tame beast. He laughed at Subai, saying, "Don't tell me you brought your household pet to the competition." Subai completely ignored him again and took out some food to eat, saying he was in a bit of a rush this morning and hadn't had breakfast yet. When the audience saw Subai's little turtle, they also became very confused, wondering why he had brought a little turtle to the competition. A guy commented that Jeongjo Martial University really doesn't have anyone worth mentioning anymore, so they are actually letting this kind of trash go on stage. Even Subai seniors thought he was seriously underestimating his opponent. A senior asked others if Subai's opponent, being at the mid-bronze rank, was really someone he could handle. While they all were wondering about the little turtle, Instructor Liao was wondering why Subai was eating peanuts and drinking cola on the stage. After taking out the little turtle, Subai Saturday on the stage opened a can of cola and told the little turtle that after eating so many beast course, it shouldn't embarrass him. The little turtle moved forward and released bright light from its body. Li Linfeng felt the power coming out of the little turtle's body and wondered if this turtle could really be his tame beast. Subai's little turtle took on its black tortoise form. This time, it was a stable form, and the little turtle fully controlled the transformation. Li Linfeng got too scared, seeing the little turtle's terrifying form. The whole audience was shocked to see such a massive turtle. A guy remarked that just one eye of the turtle alone is as big as a basketball. Looking at the little turtle's armor, one guy asked, "Is that its skin? This is clearly an armor, and it's actually shining like metal." Looking at the little turtle's claws and limbs, one man said, "No wonder Subai can kill a gold-ranked beast. This turtle could crush anyone with a single slap." Yanyan was very happy knowing that her future husband, Subai, is stronger now. Subai's roommate, Fan Chaoan, was very shocked, wondering when Subai's little turtle got this big. Subai, while drinking cola, ordered the little turtle to finish the fight quickly. On Subai's command, the little turtle swung its huge claws at Li Linfeng, who could not even react to the little turtle's attack. With just one move, the little turtle sent Li Linfeng flying. Li Linfeng went flying and fell on the ground with a solid impact. He didn't get injured because he used his stone power and turned his back into stone. But Li Linfeng was too shocked after seeing how formidable the little turtle was. Subai told Li Linfeng to just hold on a little longer because he wanted to finish his cola before going down. Seeing Subai's arrogance, Li Linfeng got very angry. He stood up, thinking it was just a sneak attack. He must focus all his power. Li Linfeng said, "Subai, you think you're tough? Then let's see who's tougher." Saying that, Li Linfeng used his stone transformation and fully turned his whole body into stone. He jumped high in the sky and used his rock fee skill to attack the little turtle. But before his punch could even land, Subai's little turtle hit him with its claws and sent him flying off the field. Instructor Liao was shocked that the fight was over and that Subai had actually won. Subai's seniors were also very shocked, admitting that the turtle is too strong. The principal praised Subai, saying, "The younger generation is truly formidable." From the audience, a guy asked others if the captain of Qingyuan Martial University was actually an idiot, questioning how he could not dodge such a big slap when the speed didn't even seem that fast. Another guy seated beside said, "Bro, it's clear you didn't study physics well. The speed of that turtle doesn't seem fast, but that's because he's big." Amazed by the little turtle's power, a guy said, "Even a mid-tier bronze level ability user can't stop Subai's turtle's attack. This turtle is unstoppable, a creature that can't slay a golden level fierce beast. How could it be so easy to deal with?" Fan Chaoan was also very shocked because he knows that the little turtle wasn't this strong before. The host then announced that in the first match, Jiangzhou Martial University Subai wins. After that, the second contestant from Qingyuan Martial University, Xiang Xuan, came on the stage. Xiang Xuan, a mid-bronze ranked blade user from Qingyuan Martial University, took out her blade and thought, "I'll rely on speed to win, and I can't let that turtle get close to me." Thinking that, she charged at the little turtle with full speed, changing her direction again and again to confuse the little turtle. The host told the audience that Xuan was using her speed advantage, constantly staying outside the range of the giant turtle's attacks. Hearing that, the whole audience shouted, "Yes, that's how you fight." The guy, who went up earlier, was dumb. Xuan was thinking that as long as she found an opportunity, one strike would be enough to win. Instructor Liao was a little worried, seeing that Xuan had been dodging, looking for an opportunity, and the turtle couldn't hit her at all with its speed. The seniors were also worried, thinking Subai was still underestimating his opponent. They all were worried for Subai, but Subai was enjoying his snack with cola. Xuan moved to the right side of the little turtle, who attacked her with full power, even destroying the ground. But Xuan jumped into the air and dodged the little turtle's attack, landing on the ground. She said, "Subai, your turtle is really strong, but I can choose to directly deal with a beast tamer." Saying that, she jumped to attack Subai, thinking it was too late for Subai to reverse the situation now. Subai was still drinking his cola. Instructor Liao got scared, seeing that Xuan was going to attack Subai directly. Yanyan was also very worried, asking Subai to be careful. Xuan struck at Subai with her sword, saying, "Subai, you lost." But before her sword could even touch him, the little turtle hit her and sent her flying. The little turtle used its tail to attack, which Xuan wasn't aware it could use. Seeing the little turtle's attack, the audience jumped in excitement, calling that move the turtle's divine tail swipe. Yanyan also took a sigh of relief, as that was a close call. Subai's seniors were shocked to see that Subai won again, asking, "Isn't that too fast?" Both Instructor Liao and the principal admitted that Subai is really strong. Xuan lost her sword, so there was no point in fighting anymore. On the other hand, Subai was finally full. Then he stood up and came near Xuan, told the little turtle that it was too close to him, then told Chuan to hurry up and heal herself, because his little turtle's strike was a bit too harsh this time. Chuan was really heavily injured. Some doctors took her off the stage on stretchers. On the other hand, Subai returned to his turtle and said, "All right, I'm going to get serious now." He stood beside his little turtle and asked who was coming up to challenge him next. Subai had already defeated 2 members of the Qingyun Martial University squad. When the third opponent came to fight, Subai's little turtle didn't even give her any chance and hit her with its huge claws. The third opponent was defeated in just 1 move without Subai even giving the little turtle any instruction. Subai started to get bored and asked for the next opponent, but even the 4th opponent was easily defeated by the little turtle. Subai didn't even look at the opponent and started taking selfies. After Subai's little turtle defeated the 5th opponent, the host came onto the arena and announced that Zhengzhou Martial University's Subai wins. The whole audience was shocked to see that Subai from Zhengzhou Martial University had been eating peanuts the entire time, relying on a turtle to fight in the ring, and still won. They had never seen such an unbridled contestant in their whole life. All the girls became Subai's fans. Waifu Yanyan was also very happy seeing Subai win. Han Jiagong praised Subai, little turtle, as it won 5 consecutive matches. Fan Chaoan gave Subai a nickname, 1 man, 5 wins. All the audience followed after Fan Chaoan and started calling Subai, 1 man, 5 wins. While leaving the arena, Subai felt very embarrassed. When he heard what people were calling him, he wondered why it sounded so weird, because it felt like he was being called a turtle. When Subai returned to his team, Instructor Liao patted his shoulder telling him that he did well. The principal was also very happy seeing that Subai single-handedly defeated the formidable Qingyun Martial University, bringing great honor to the Zhengzhou Martial University. Subai thanked everyone for the praise. Then Instructor Liao turned to everyone and told them to go rest for a bit, because the morning matches were over. After the lunch break, they would continue with the second round. The principal told all the students that during the league, the cafeteria was open to all contestants for free. Everyone could go and enjoy the food to replenish their energy. Hearing that food was free of charge, Subai got very happy and immediately went to the cafeteria with his little turtle. While Subai was eating and resting, all the other universities were planning their strategies. At the Fuchuan Martial University Lounge, Fuchuan University's principal told his students that if they faced Zhengzhou Martial University in the next match, Zhengzhou University would likely send Subai again. A student asked the principal what they should do, because Subai's tamed beast was almost invincible in close combat. The principal pointed at a purple-haired boy named Maokai, telling him that if they really faced Zhengzhou Martial University, Maokai would have to handle Subai, because he was their team captain and a poison-type user, so there was no need for close combat. Maokai agreed, saying when the time comes, he would keep his distance and use poison to take down Subai a turtle. On the other hand, at Xinmin Martial University Lounge, Xinmin University's principal asked his students not to be discouraged. He told them that Subai was strong, but his weaknesses were also very obvious. Finding the right opportunity to bypass his turtle's defense line and then defeating Subai was the only way to win. A student named Li Feng came forward saying, "The principal is right. If we face Subai this afternoon, I'll handle him." Actually, Zhang Zhuan's strategy this morning was correct. It's just that she wasn't fast enough. Xinmin University's principal agreed with Li Feng. Since Li Feng was a speed-focused fighter with enhanced combat skills, Xinmin University's principal told him to find the right moment to attack Subai. Then, after some time, the host came onto the area and complimented the morning matches, saying they were truly exciting. The students demonstrated spirited determination and a tenacious, fearless spirit. The host told the audience that the second round of the competition would begin shortly, and that they would proceed with a random draw. All the teams started together in the arena. Seeing the Zhengzhou Martial University team coming, a guy from the audience said, "I feel like the other members of Zhengzhou Martial University don't even need to compete this time. Subai alone can defeat all other schools. It's really great to have such a teammate." Hearing that, another guy from the audience left and told the first guy not to get complacent, because this is still within the province. Facing martial universities from other provinces, Zhengzhou Martial University will still be beaten so badly that it won't be able to hold its head up. He said. Students from Zhengzhou Martial University agreed with him, because Zhengzhou Martial University had always struggled to hold their heads up before. But now, with Subai, they are even more irrelevant. While they were talking, the host announced the results of the second round draw for the provincial league. The first match was between Zhengzhou Martial University and Xinmin Martial University. The second match was between Fuchuan Martial University and Oni Martial University. The third match was between Longming Martial University and Qinyuan Martial University. And the fourth match was between Xichang Martial University and Jiangsu Martial University. The second round starts, and for the first match, Su Bai from Zhengzhou Martial University and Li Fan from Xinmin Martial University come onto the arena. Seeing Su Bai coming into the arena, Li Fan said, as expected, Zhengzhou Martial University has sent Su Bai to take the lead. Luckily, we've already prepared a strategy specifically for him. Li Fan started stretching. When Su Bai, who was very relaxed, saw Li Fan stretching, he asked Li Fan not to be so nervous, telling him that he just had to endure for a bit and it would be over soon. The host gave the signal and the match began. Captain of Xinmin Martial University, Li Fan was a high-level bronze rank hunter. He immediately got ready to attack, telling Su Bai not to be too arrogant. Li Fan used his clear wind step skill and charged at the little turtle. He was so fast that he created an after-image. When the little turtle tried to attack, it could not touch Li Fan's after-image, nor his real body. Li Fan got behind the little turtle, and with all his power, kicked the little turtle, but his attack didn't deal any damage to the little turtle. Li Fan was surprised to see that he couldn't even break through the little turtle's defense at all. The little turtle used its tail to attack Li Fan, but it jumped and dodged the little turtle's tail. This continued. The little turtle tried to attack Li Fan, but Li Fan easily dodged its attacks. People in the audience were surprised to see that the little turtle was unable to hit Li Fan. A guy laughed at the little turtle, asking others to look at how Su Bai's turtle seemed provoked by Li Fan and was angry. Howling repeatedly, a girl asked her friend if Li Fan suddenly charged at Su Bai, would he have any chance of winning? Her friend told her that Li Fan might actually have a chance, because right now, Li Fan was just bullying Su Bai's turtle for being so dim-witted. The girls, who were cheering for Su Bai before now, started cheering for Li Fan, shouting, "Come on, Li Fan!" In the arena, Li Fan ran away from the little turtle, provoking it to chase him. Su Bai's seniors immediately realized that Li Fan was trying to lure the little turtle away from Su Bai. Instructor Liao started to get worried, wondering what Su Bai was doing and why he wasn't coming up with a solution. A senior looked closely and told Instructor Liao that it seemed like Su Bai was looking for something. Indeed, while the little turtle was fighting with Li Fan, Su Bai was looking for cola in his bag because his lunch had been a bit salty. He was very carefree and started drinking cola in the middle of the fight. Meanwhile, little by little, Li Fan was luring the little turtle away from Su Bai. The whole audience started cheering for Li Fan after creating quite a bit of distance between the little turtle and Su Bai. Li Fan thought that at this distance, even a tail swipe wouldn't work. But when he turned around to attack Su Bai, he was shocked to see that Su Bai was drinking cola. He got very angry and charged at Su Bai, shouting, "Su Bai, you're looking down on me too much." Li Fan jumped to attack Su Bai, saying he would make him pay the price. Su Bai didn't even look at him and called his little turtle. Just as he called, a yellow light came towards Li Fan. Before Li Fan could hit Su Bai, his body turned yellow and frownsy in midair. Li Fan was shocked. He couldn't understand why he couldn't move. That yellow light came from the little turtle's black tortoise illusion form. Su Bai ordered the little turtle to stop playing around and hurry up to finish the battle. The little turtle brought Li Fan near itself, then used its black tortoise gravity and started collecting energy into its mouth. Seeing the little turtle collecting energy, Li Fan got scared and asked Su Bai to wait, wondering what he was going to do. But Su Bai's little turtle didn't stop and shot an energy beam from its mouth, which hit Li Fan and sent him flying, crashing into the stadium. Li Fan hit the stadium wall so hard that it created a hole in the wall. The little turtle's attack was too powerful, and seeing that, the whole audience was shocked. The guys, who were laughing at the little turtle, finally understood that it wasn't that Li Fan wasn't strong enough. It was that Su Bai was just too overpowered. A guy commented that if it was him, he would just surrender right away when facing Su Bai. How can one even fight against him? Seeing Li Fan's condition, a girl from his team asked their principal what they should do, because Li Fan had already been injured so badly. Left with no choice, Xinmin Martial University's principal decided to just give up. After a few minutes, the host came and announced that, unfortunately, facing the powerful opponent, Su Bai from Zhengzhou Martial University, Xinmin Martial University had chosen to forfeit. He announced that the next university to face off against Zhengzhou Martial University is Fuchuan Martial University. The audience was surprised to hear the announcement, wondering how Shinmin Martial University could forfeit without even fighting. But deep down, they all understood that Subai was indeed too strong, so forfeiting was better than being humiliated in vain. Hearing that Shinmen had voluntarily forfeited, Instructor Liao said, Subai can conserve his strength for Fuchuan now. Hearing that, one of Subai's seniors got annoyed and asked Instructor Liao where Subai even needed to save his strength, as he had not even moved a muscle to fight. Another of Subai's seniors told the others that this next fight was going to be interesting, because the captain of Fuchuan is a poison-type user, so it won't be so easy to deal with him. Then, after a few minutes, Subai from Zhengzhou Martial University and Mao Kai from Fuchuan Martial University entered the arena. But just as the match began, Mao Kai asked Subai to wait, saying, let's not rush to fight yet. Mao Kai was a mid-level bronze rank hunter. While hiding one hand behind his back, Mao Kai walked towards Subai and said, Subai, I admit you're very strong, and I know I'm no match for you. So how about we make a deal? Subai, who was drinking cola, was surprised to hear Mao Kai and asked him what deal he was talking about. Mao Kai walked a little closer to Subai, telling him that he admits he might not be Subai's match in this round, but he really wants to discuss beast taming with him. Subai became very confused, hearing that Mao Kai wanted to discuss beast taming with him. He could not understand what Mao Kai was up to. On the other hand, Mao Kai, while hiding one hand behind, was continuously mobilizing his poison elements. It didn't take too long for Subai to realize that Mao Kai was trying to stall for time, because it takes a long time for poison-type ability users to mobilize their elements. Subai immediately ordered his little turtle to attack. Seeing the little turtle coming to attack, Mao Kai realized that Subai had figured out his plan, but it was too late. Mao Kai had already mobilized his poison element. He threw poison fog towards the little turtle, telling Subai that even a divine beast can't escape his poison fog. The poison fog immediately surrounded the little turtle and moved towards Subai. Seeing the poison fog coming, Subai realized there was no way to dodge this. A senior from Subai's team panicked, saying, Subai is too careless. I heard that Mao Kai poisoned quite a few high-level beasts in the previous trials. Instructor Liao also panicked, seeing Subai in danger and asking what they should do. However, Subai's principal was calm and told others not to panic, because the match wasn't over yet. When the poison fog hit, the little turtle immediately held its breath and closed its eyes. The little turtle could not see in the poison fog, but Mao Kai was unaffected. While smiling, he passed through the little turtle easily, thinking, Subai, let's see how long you can last in my poison fog. You were too careless. Once I release my poisonous fog, the match is over. When Mao Kai walked past the little turtle, he saw Subai's shadow sitting on the ground. He realized that Subai was meditating to resist the poison fog, but Subai was not just facing poison fog. Mao Kai took out his poison claws and then jumped high to attack Subai. But before his poison claws could even touch Subai, a shield appeared and blocked his attack. Subai smiled, seeing a sneak attack from behind in the poison fog, and said, Mao Kai, too bad that you ran into me. Mao Kai was shocked, wondering how this was possible. As a beast tamer, how could Subai withstand his full-powered poison claw attack in the poison fog? Subai's principal was shocked to see Subai use shared origin. Confused, Instructor Liao asked the principal what shared origin was. The principal told her that it is a high-level beast tamer talent. The principal was surprised to see that Subai could already transfer the beast's defense onto himself. In the arena, after blocking Mao Kai's attack, Subai said, let's end this quickly, because this poison fog stinks. Just as he said that, the little turtle turned around and looked at Mao Kai. Seeing the little turtle's red glowing eyes, Mao Kai became very scared, because his location had been exposed. The little turtle didn't even give Mao Kai a chance to react and attacked with its claws, sending him flying out of the arena. Seeing Subai win, Fen Shaolin jumped in happiness, shouting, Brother Su is insane. He sent the poison ability user flying out of the poison fog. Wei Fu Yanran was also very happy, but seeing how powerful Subai had become, she said that she wouldn't let Subai get too far ahead of her. The whole audience started cheering for Subai and his turtle, calling him 1 man, 5 wins. The host then appeared on the big screen and announced that since Mao Kai of Fuchuan Martial University was unable to continue fighting, Fuchuan Martial University had also chosen to forfeit. The winner of this provincial league is Zhengzhou Martial University Subai. After winning the competition, Subai was very happy and proud of his beast, Little Turtle. He patted the little turtle, saying it was time to wrap up. When Subai came down from the arena, his principal praised him, telling him that it had brought honor to Zhengzhou Martial University this time. Well done, he said. Hearing his principal's praise, Subai asked the principal if, in that case, he could get some more medicine resources. Hearing that, the principal understood that Subai was trying to take advantage of him again, but he wouldn't fall for it so easily. The principal tried to change the topic and pointed at Subai's seniors, telling them that since Jeonjo Martial University won the provincial league, the military would award them with military merit points, and they could exchange them for resources at the logistics department. Hearing that, an annoyed senior asked the principal if, since they only sent out Subai, the military merit points had anything to do with them. The principal was at a loss for words. Hearing that, and it changed the topic again, saying, in 3 days, we'll be heading to Luo City to participate in the All-War Zone League. Do you have confidence? Subai immediately replied that they do have confidence. Hearing that, the principal said, good. He turned around and said, since everyone's tired, go back and have a good rest to prepare for the Warzone League in 3 days. Subai tried calling the principal again to ask him about the resources, but the principal didn't even look back, and while leaving, told Subai that he was looking forward to seeing his outstanding performance in 3 days. Seeing the principal running away, Subai called him an old fox because he runs so fast when it comes to resources. Then, after some time, it was telecast on the news that the Provincial League of the 100 Schools League had now concluded. The top 3 were Imperial Capital Martial University, Magic City Martial University, and Great Wall Guard Martial University. Many talented individuals performed exceptionally well in this league, but the most dazzling of them was Subai from Jeonjo Martial University. Winning all 3 matches, 1 versus 5, secured the overall championship for Jeonjo Province. Students of Jeonjo Martial University were amazed to see that Subai was in the news again. Now, those fangirls really wanted to meet him. Meanwhile, Subai went to his university's training room. He was happy to finally find a quiet place. He took out his little kit from his bag, telling it that he knew it was eager, but there would definitely be a chance for it to go on stage later. Subai exchanged his military merit points for high-grade silver beast cores. He showed them to the little cat, telling it to eat them sparingly. He first gave 1 core to the little cat, and seeing that core, the little cat's eyes lit up, and it immediately ate the core. Just as the little cat ate the core, its whole body started shining, releasing yellow energy. Subai immediately received a system notification informing him that his ordinary high-grade common bronze rank cat had upgraded to a sharp gold white tiger. The little cat's sacred beast, White Tiger bloodline, was activated, and it acquired the sharp gold gale talent. Subai was amazed to see that his little cat leveled up after eating just 1 core, and that its White Tiger bloodline had been activated. Subai immediately gave the other 3 remaining beast cores to his little cat, telling it to eat a few more. Seeing the 3 more cores, the little cat jumped in happiness and started eating them immediately. Subai told it to eat slowly, saying, no one's going to steal them from you. Subai thought that after eating these, his little cat should be able to level up again. However, after the little cat ate those 3 cores, there was no change. Subai was very confused, seeing that his little cat had eaten all of them, and there was no reaction. He wondered if those high-grade silver beast cores were fake. But suddenly, the little cat's whole body started shining again in yellow light, but this time the light was 10 times stronger than the first time. When the light stopped, Subai was too shocked to see his little cat. The little cat's body had transformed completely. It grew bigger than Subai's height and looked even more amazing. Seeing that, Subai thought it was way cooler than little turtle's transformation. A notification informed Subai that his sharp gold white tiger had upgraded to the intermediate bronze level. Immediately, Subai checked his little cat's status window. The little cat had leveled up to the intermediate bronze level. Its White Tiger bloodline had been activated 30%. All its attributes had greatly improved, and its talents had been enhanced. Currently, its constitution was 158, defense was 105, agility was 295, and spirit was 60. The little cat has 3 talents. The first talent is Sharp Gold Claws, which consumes a certain amount of physical energy to launch 100 attacks on a single enemy in a very short period of time. The first attack power is 150% of the basic attack value, and after each attack, the amplitude of the next attack increases by 2%. The second talent is Sharp Gold Spirit, which consumes a certain amount of energy to cover the whole body with sharp gold energy. Each attack has a 200% tearing effect. It can be used in combination with the Sharp Gold Claws to greatly increase the damage caused by the Sharp Gold Claws. Their third talent is Sharp Gold Ghost, which consumes a large amount of physical energy, causing the movement speed and attack speed to increase by 300%. It can be used in combination with Sharp Gold Claws, allowing Sharp Gold Claws to complete 100 attacks instantly. Seeing the little cat status window, Subai became very happy, saying it was worth giving the little cat for high-grade Silver B scores because the stats are insane. Subai patted the little cat, telling it that he was counting on it for the Warzone League. The little cat became very happy to hear that and hugged Subai. Meanwhile, at the Imperial capital, where the Warzone League is going to be held in 3 days, in a huge mansion, a man watching Subai's match on the television said this: "Subai is interesting. It seems he has a lot of secrets." That man ordered his subordinate to go and investigate Subai, saying maybe his turtle is even more ridiculous than the wolf fans back then. His subordinate said yes and left.